That's TJ, Dave, and Timmy C. Pondwater and Amy join the clatter, talking about things that truly do matter. Amy's insight, Pondwater's wit, Drunken Pop keeps talking that shiznit. Watch-alongs and talks all night, every episode feels just right. We've got the banter, the random flair, inside jokes flying everywhere. From experts' takes to a drunken spill, we'll keep you hooked with every thrill. Wrestling moves and pop culture streams, laughing so hard we're bursting at the seams. Sports and shows, pre-post and watch along. Grab your cup, come groove to our song.
Hello and welcome to the 1000 Spectacular.
I am so excited that we are finally getting to put on a 1,000 episode spectacular, and we are so blessed that we're sitting at a 1,275 subscribers as we speak. So y'all are just joining the two shows, one cup army. Y'all are filing in, and we love it. Can't thank you enough.
Efren is here. He loves Al, and he doesn't like JD Hoop. That's weird.
I wonder why he's named JD Hoop.
I don't know why he doesn't like Al. By the way, we want to give a shout out.
He does not like AI music. I know that.
Artist Inceptions out of Mayfield, Kentucky, who sang that song for us.
He's damning JD Hoop like he thinks JD Hoop created that.
Yeah. Artist Inceptions out of Mayfield, Kentucky is who sang that song for us. Took 3 banjos, 1 drum kit, and 1 bass.
Proud of that one. I had fun making that video.
Yeah.
And I mean, I had to go back and I changed the lyrics and tweaked it. I probably did that song 20 different times before I got it just right.
I know. I got a message every time you did that.
Well,
by the way, guys, join us in the chat. If you're watching along, just give us a little bit of, hey, how you doing? We want to know who's here.
I'm excited about finally getting to watch. I mean, me and you were going to watch Christmas of '83, and we still are on World Class Flashback.
Again.
We may just break this up, and I'll edit this up into 3 episodes, and we'll take a week off.
I like it.
But we're going to watch World Class Championship Wrestling from Christmas night 1983. These shows were called Star Wars. And I'm going to give you an idea of just what was going on in the territory leading up. I'm going to go back to the end of October. We'll start October 24th at the Will Rogers Coliseum for Saturday Night Wrestling, where we had this banger of a match. Princess Victoria defeated Judy Martin.
Judy Martin graduates.
Yeah.
No. That's Donna Martin.
All
right, well, Amy.
I get the feeling it was
get into the video. What are we doing?
Who didn't get in the video?
Amy.
Amy's in the video.
Amy is in our chat. Hey guys.
Amy's in the video. Amy's got a copy of the video. She can watch it.
Yeah. Amy, get in here. What are we doing?
Oh, I thought you said Amy said she wasn't in the video.
No, she's in the chat.
Oh, I thought you were saying.
I told her, I said, just get in here. Get in the studio.
I sent her a link. I emailed it to her.
Well, it's Mayfield. It could take a minute to get there.
All right. Anyway, so apparently Ann Girls were on the card that night. Kerry Von Erich defeats Mr. Ebony. We've seen Kerry Von Erich go after him and Mr. Ebony matched up quite a bit. And it was a good matchup because Mr. Ebony had an upper body like Kerry's.
No, he didn't.
It was impressive.
It was as thick as Kerry's. It was not like Kerry's.
He was very muscular. Anyway,
His body looked more like mine.
Iceman King Parson defeats Black Gordman, who we will see tonight. Both men will see tonight, not against each other. The television champion match, Jimmy Garvin with Precious and Sunshine defeats Chris Adams.
Ooh.
So Jimmy Garvin becomes the television champion. He's still got Precious and Sunshine. They have not broke up yet as of October the 24th. Then we're going to move it on down to Marshall, Texas. Marshall, Texas. We were just talking about Marshall yesterday. Got a good friend's going to go to college there. Boris Zukov
Marshall
defeats...
University is not in Texas.
Well, it's East Texas University.
Okay.
Boris Zukov defeats Mike Reed. Kerry Von Erich will beat Kamala by DQ. The Iceman and Buddy Roberts with another classic where the Iceman wins. And they got the girls in Marshall as well. Princess Victoria beat Judy Martin.
Judy Martin graduates.
Now we're coming down to the Sportatorium where Mike Reed defeats Raul Castro. Look at Mike Reed. I think now we've discovered the fourth match that Mike Reed's won this year. Boris Zukov versus Chris Adams was time limit draw. Jimmy Garvin defeats Johnny Mantell. And in a mixed tag team, Iceman King Parsons and Princess Victoria beat Buddy Roberts and Judy Martin. Kerry Von Erich beat Michael Hayes by DQ in the main. Then in
I don't
Frankston,
know why she called me number 40.
Frankston, Texas, Boris Zukov defeats Mike Reed. Kevin Von Erich defeats Michael Hayes. Iceman Parsons defeats Jimmy Garvin by disqualification. And Princess Victoria owns Judy Martin yet again. Now we're going to San Antonio, Texas. We're October 30th in San Antonio, where Buddy Roberts and Johnny Mantell is in a time limit draw. Iceman King Parsons and Princess Victoria beat Black Gordman and Judy Martin. If you got Judy Martin on your team, chances are you're not going to the pay window, Jack. Chris Adams defeats Jimmy Garvin. David Von Erich defeats Kamala by countout. I can guarantee you that he flexed the claw and Kamala got out of the ring and said, nope, not doing it. Kerry Von Erich defeated Michael Hayes by disqualification. Now we got Christmas night. Christmas night at the Will Rogers Coliseum, Memorial Coliseum for television. The Super Destroyer beats Tonga John. World Class Television Championship beat the TV champion. Johnny Mantell beats Jimmy Garvin with Precious and Sunshine in a title change. And I bet you that's where the tension between
Sunshine and
Precious, because Precious probably interfered and blamed it on Sunshine.
Come to a head.
That would have been on the Saturday night program. We're going to move it down to Denton, Texas, home of the Von Erichs, Denton County, Texas. The Super Destroyer defeats Johnny Mantell. Iceman King
the Super Destroyer again?
That's going to be Wild Bill Irwin,
who was in the territory 3 months earlier.
Right, he's back as the Super
Bill
Destroyer.
Irwin. He'll be back in 6 months as the Goon.
No. Him and his brother, he'll bring his brother in, and they'll be the Super Destroyers tag team. Iceman King Parsons over Boris Zukov. Chris Adams and Jimmy Garvin go to time limit draw.
Was that the Crocodile Hunter?
No. Kerry Von Erich beats Michael Hayes. Now we're doing for television taping at the Sportatorium in Dallas, Texas. The Super Destroyer number 2, which will be Scott Hogg Irwin.
Scott Hogg Irwin?
Yeah, H-A-W-G, because he'll later be called Scott Hogg Irwin because I think they did a biker gimmick, but he was a legit biker. Defeats
Not
Mike
that
Reed.
Harry wasn't. He wasn't legit. He may have been a biker. He was not a legit biker.
King Parsons defeats Tonga John. And in a country whipping tag team match, the Cosmic Cowboys defeat the Fabulous Freebirds.
That sounds
Terry Gordy
terrible.
with Buddy Roberts. The Cosmic Cowboys were Kerry and Kevin Von Erich under a mask.
Oh, that's bullshit.
I think that they had to do that to get a match with the Freebirds. It was one of those, we tricked y'all. And it was one of them. It wasn't a mystery to anybody. Now we're going to hit it.
The Von Erichs were scared.
We're on the road in Sulphur Springs, Texas, probably in a high school gymnasium. Iceman King Parsons beats Boris Zukov. Jimmy Garvin defeats Johnny Mantell. David Von Erich beats Buddy Roberts. And Kerry Von Erich beats Michael Hayes. Now they're going to Amarillo. Talk about a haul.
You know what my favorite singer said about that? Amarillo by morning,
Up from
up
San
from San
Antonio,
Antone. Everything
everything
that
that
I
I
got
got,
is just what
what I
I've got
got.
on. By the way, George Strait for all you non-country fucks.
Yeah, not Ronnie Millsaps like Darren
There's
Staley.
a stranger in my house.
I'm sure Darren Staley will be in here with his Ronnie
He'll be in
Millsap
here in a little
references.
bit. Don't worry.
But in Amarillo, Iceman King Parsons beats Boris Zukov. Chris Adams defeats Jimmy Garvin. Kevin Von Erich defeats Terry Gordy. David Von Erich beats Kamala by countout. And Kerry Von Erich beats Michael Hayes. We're back to Fort Worth on that Monday night, November the 7th, where Johnny Mantell defeats Super Destroyer number 2 by disqualification. Super Destroyer number 1 beats Roberto Redesto. Terry Gordy defeats Chris Adams. Jimmy Garvin defeats Tonga John.
Tonga
And
John.
David Von Erich and Iceman King Parsons beat Boris Zukov and Kamala. Now we're going to Waxahachie.
When he won.
Waxahachie, Texas. Waxahachie, Texas.
Waxahachie.
For y'all, I'm going to have a hard time with words tonight because my whole lower lip's still numb from surgery yesterday.
And Tep is loving every minute of it.
Is she in the chat?
She said, work that tongue out, my friend.
Ben Jones. Little Jimmy Sorensen.
Good morning.
Yeah.
What are you in Australia?
He's in Australia. Thoughts on Iceman King Parsons? We're going to talk about King Parsons during. I've got him in my notes, Jimmy.
We've got thoughts.
We're going to talk about him during
the
watch along.
We're gonna hit those at the top of the hour when the watch along starts.
But back to Waxahachie, Texas.
Waxahachie.
Chris Adams defeats Jimmy Garvin, and the American title must not have been on his line on all these house shows. The Von Erichs, David and Kerry, defeat Zukov and Kamala. The Super Destroyers, number 2, defeats Johnny Mantell.
By the way, Waxahachie, Texas, not to be confused with Wackahoochee, Pennsylvania, which is where Jimmy Snuka found his demise.
There's supposed to be a Waxahachie, Texas hosts a Renaissance fair, Scarborough Fair that it runs for a few months down there, and there's supposed to be a restaurant that down there that's haunted. Kerry Von Erich. Okay, we're back at the Sportatorium on November 11th, and this is a non-televised event. Kerry Von Erich defeats Super Destroyer number 2. Terry Gordy defeats Tonga John. The Iceman King Parsons defeats Gorgeous Jimmy Garvin. Chris Adams defeats Super Destroyer number 1. And the Von Erichs, David, Kerry, and Kevin beat Boris Zukov, Kamala, and Super Destroyer.
Number 2?
Number 2.
Who was
now we're going to go to Midlothian, Texas. This is a spot show, probably in a high school gym. Super Destroyer number 2 beats Mike Reed. Kamala defeats Iceman King Parsons. Chris Adams defeats Buddy Roberts. Kevin Von Erich defeats Jimmy Garvin. Now we're going to go for our Monday night television taping on the 14th of November. This will probably be the last.
Way down yonder on the Waxahachie.
I'm looking. No, we got one more TV before Thanksgiving, but we're working towards our Thanksgiving our Christmas Star Wars. Black Gordman defeats Mike Reed. Oh, I went way too far back. We're not watching Thanksgiving. We're watching.
Yeah, you've been telling us results from September.
Oh man,
I'm still confused.
I'm going to fast forward up to.
So we're going to skip everything that you've just told us.
Yeah.
Go another month. All right, we got 30 minutes, Pondwater.
I know.
Keep
we got
going. Give us all the results.
Yeah, let's run the territory for the last quarter. We're back at Will Rogers. Black Gordman defeats Mike Reed. Johnny Mantell successfully defends the TV title by Jimmy Garvin by DQ. So he's still the TV champion. Iceman Parsons defeated Coco Samoa. Super Destroyer number 2 defeats Chris Adams. And in a 6-man elimination, David, Kerry, Kevin Von Erich defeat the Freebirds, Roberts, Michaels, and Hayes. And Gordy.
And And then
Now, WCW at the Robert E. Lee High School Gym in Tyler, Texas.
WCW? What?
WCCW's
Ric
event.
Flair defeats Lex Luger.
No, the Robert E. Lee High School Gym in Tyler, Texas.
Aptly named because we like the Confederacy.
Chris Adams. I'm just wondering if they've ever changed the name of that school. Chris Adams defeats Jimmy
Right
Garvin.
By the way, Robert E. Lee, I don't care his affiliation, hell of a general.
Yeah.
By the way,
I like his car.
Would have been a great general even on the Union side. He's pretty good strategery.
I like his car. Chris Adams defeats Jimmy Garvin. Terry Gordy defeats the Iceman King Parsons. David Von Erich defeats Kamala by DQ. I guarantee you this is a Claw scaring him out of the ring every time. I think Kamala even sells being scared of the Claw tonight. We'll see. Kerry Von Erich defeats Michael Hayes. Now we're going to go up to Lawton, Oklahoma for Boris Zukov defeating Tonga John. The Super Destroyers defeat Iceman King Parsons and Johnny Mantell. Chris Adams and Jimmy Garvin's a no contest, which tells me the American belt was on the line. The Von Erichs, David, Kerry, and Kevin defeat the Fabulous Freebirds, Hayes, Roberts, and Gordy. Now we're going to be in the Granbury High School Gym in Granbury,
Is that the one
Texas.
you're talking about right there? His car?
What?
Robert E. Lee, his car.
Yeah, that's his car. When I'm reading this, I don't see you on the screen. The Super Destroyers defeat Johnny Mantell. Chris Adams defeats Jimmy Garvin. Michael Hayes defeats the Iceman King Parsons, and Kerry Von Erich defeats Terry Gordy. And now we're at the Sportatorium on the 18th. But it's not a television, but November.
Oh.
But it's not a television taping because we're going to be back on the 19th for some television. The Superstore number 1 defeats Tonga John. Iceman defeats Boris Zukov. Kevin Von Erich defeats Buddy Roberts. Chris Adams and Kerry Von Erich defeat Jimmy Garvin and Michael Hayes. And Terry Gordy defeats Kamala by disqualification. And then it says on the 19th, we're taping television. Jose Lafario defeats Tonga John. Super Destroyer number 2 with Skandar Akbar. And Super Destroyer number 1 beat King Parsons. Buddy Roberts and Jimmy Garvin with Precious versus Chris Adams and Johnny Mantell, a no contest. So we've fallen out. Sunshine has been fired since. I guarantee it's the Johnny Mantell match that did it. Now they're going to Elkhart, Texas on the 19th.
Let's go to Elkhart, Texas. Willin' and the boys.
I was going to say Skandar and Tonga and the boys, but okay.
Okay. I dig it.
But Super Destroyer number 2 beats Johnny Mantell. Chris Adams defeats Jimmy Garvin. Terry Gordy defeats Iceman. Kevin Von Erich defeats Michael Hayes. Now we're back for Monday night. This is the go-home show before Christmas. No, this is the go-home show before Thanksgiving. My bad. I'm still in November. Jimmy Garvin defeats the Mongol. And if y'all are just tuning in, the watch-along starts at 7. We're just kicking it and having a good time with our friends. But at Will Rogers Coliseum, Jimmy Garvin defeats the Mongols. That's kind of a interesting matchup that Jimmy Garvin's facing somebody from Devastation. But Iceman King Parsons defeats Super Destroyer number 1. Chris Adams and Johnny Mantell for the television championship was a time limit draw. Kamala defeats Tonga John. Kerry defeats Michael Hayes. Kerry's Michael Hayes is no contest. David defeats Buddy Roberts, and in a 10-man battle royal, David defeated Buddy Roberts and Chris Adams and Iceman Parsons and Jimmy Garvin and Johnny Mantell and Kamala and Kerry and Michael and the Mongol and the Super Destroyers and Tonga John. So I guarantee you that battle royal was the first thing they did, and it determined the card for the rest of the night. That's how we got Jimmy Garvin and the Mongol.
That shirt is awesome.
That is a handsome shirt.
If you'd like that shirt, go right there.
I would like that shirt.
You should scan that right now with your phone. Go there, buy 100 of them.
At a low introductory price. We got a very low introductory price on that.
It's like $15.99 or something. Like
No,
something. Stupidly cheap.
No, it's $13.99.
Look at that. Even better.
$13.99. That's the introductory offer. You can't buy a wrestling shirt under $25.
Correct. And
I'll be willing to bet you there's not a shirt on Pro Wrestling Tees for $13.99.
you ain't got to buy it in black, just so you know.
No, you got lots of different colors to choose from.
We know y'all like black because you're wrestling fans, but feel free to buy it in blue, purple.
Yeah. All right, we go into Nocona, Texas.
Nocona.
Nocona,
By the way,
Texas.
there's a LaPorte, Indiana, and there's a LaPorte, Texas. And I just found out today there's an Elkhart, Texas, and an Elkhart, Indiana. I live about an hour away.
There's a Paris, Kentucky.
That's because you guys are
Paris, Texas.
It's because you guys
and
are
there's
posers.
a Paris, France.
Oui. Hey, I bet this Nocona is where the Nocona boots come from. Johnny Mantell defeats Boris Zukov. Iceman King Parsons defeated Michael Hayes. Chris Adams defeated Jimmy Garvin. David Von Erich defeats Kamala.
Exactly.
Now we're at Thanksgiving. It's Thanksgiving night in Dallas, Texas, Reunion Arena. We've all ate our turkey and we've taken our ass to the wrestling matches, and we're going to see Johnny Mantell, Jose Lothario, Mike Reed defeat Black Gordman, Boris Zukov, and Tonga John.
This ain't first grade. Why's your hand up?
What are Nocona boots?
It's a brand of Western boot.
Okay.
That was like 6 minutes ago.
I've had my hand up for a while. But
Dude,
Well, that's your fault.
I can't see you. I'm reading results.
you can't read either.
What he means is I can't see you because I minimized the window so I don't have to look at you.
I've got a
That's what he
different
means.
tab
I
open.
can't see you because I'm an elderly and can't watch two things at once.
What are you? Are you one monitor or two monitor guy?
I'm a one monitor.
Oh, you need
He's
to get
half
two.
monitor.
It's
You
a
need to get
30.
two.
It's a 32-inch television though.
Oh, I've got two 30s.
I tried to get Stephanie to let me buy a 65-inch to put on my desk yesterday, and she won't.
But
I saw a 65-inch television for like $300 at Walmart yesterday.
219 is better than a 69. Just so you know.
Did you
Just
tell her
ask
that?
Sean Jones. He'll tell you.
Did you tell her like if you let me
You
get a
had
60?
two 19-year-olds and it's better than a 69. I don't know. That's what he told me.
68's the best.
I like 77s.
I don't know what that means, but
You get 8 more.
You should have told Tep like if you let me get a 65, I'll show you my 6.
All right. The missing link defeats Buddy Roberts by countout, 802. Kevin Von Erich defeats Terry Gordy. For the NWA Texas Heavyweight Championship, David Von Erich defeats Kamala by disqualification in 12 minutes and 18 seconds.
By the way,
Mike-
Sean Jones, if I had a 98-incher, I'd charge $1,400 an hour for it. Yep.
Mike Von Erich makes his pro wrestling debut
No.
Yay.
against General Skandar Akbar and defeats him in 4 minutes and 15 seconds.
So they had him debut against the manager?
Skandar was working hard.
Yeah, here's a little trivia for you. Can you tell me
Skandar
wrestling manager-
debuted against every
which
Von Erich boy.
wrestling manager did David Von Erich debut against?
Skandar Akbar.
What year did he start?
77.
77.
Skandar
Was he-
Akbar.
Was he doing both? Was he managing and working at the time?
I don't know.
Obviously.
I think
If
he was.
he
I
was
don't
a
think he was.
manager.
That's before me, but
Well, like Cornette's no one's gonna accuse Cornette of being a wrestler, but he's done both.
True. Bobby
Um,
Heenan did, but I don't think it's
Bobby
Heenan. I
Heenan
think it's Skandar.
77, Texas. Let me try Mr. Fuji.
would have been Gary Hart.
Gary. Oh, duh. Why didn't I think of that?
Been better if it had been Jimmy.
And
Hart.
Kevin Von Erich made his debut against Paul
Percy Pringle.
I can't. He became Playboy Buddy Rose,
Oh,
but he was
Percy
filling in.
Assassin.
But he was filling in for Rick Martel, who was scheduled to be Kevin's first.
Martel
match.
would have gave him a better match.
dude, Buddy Rose is the shit. How dare
Buddy
you?
Rhodes was pretty good, man.
How dare you, sir?
And then for the
Buddy
NWA American Heavyweight Championship, Chris Adams with Sunshine defeats Jimmy Garvin with Precious. We have
So
changed-
we've had the split at that point.
yeah, we had the split a few weeks ago, and Sunshine came out with Chris Adams. and blew Jimmy Garvin's mind, and he lost the
Wait,
American
what?
Championship.
Which
And then in a
Jimmy
loser
Garvin?
league round steel cage match, Kerry Von Erich defeated Michael Hayes in 9 minutes and 50 seconds. Michael Hayes cannot wrestle in the state of Texas for a year. All right, we go to in Tennessee Colony, Texas. I don't know what Tennessee Colony is. I know what the Colony is, and I'm sure that's what they meant. Super Destroyer defeated Johnny Mantell. Chris Adams versus Jimmy Garvin in a time limit draw. Iceman King Parsons beats Buddy Roberts, and Kevin Von Erich defeats Terry Gordy. Now, for the 27th of November, we are at the City Coliseum in San Antonio, Texas, for Black Gordman and the Super Destroyer #2, defeating Jose Lothario and Mike Reed. Terry Gordy defeats Boris Zukov. Mike Von Erich defeats Buddy Roberts. David Von Erich defeats Kamala by DQ. Chris Adams defeats Jimmy Garvin. Kevin Von Erich defeats Ric Flair in a steel cage. Kerry Von Erich defeats Michael Hayes in a steel cage.
Working out that steel. Why didn't they just have a tag team match in a steel cage?
Right? They
Not-
didn't know how to do that. It was
Yeah,
a-
but you've already told the story, though, that Michael Hayes
You all right there,
can
hon?
get along.
That's true.
Now we're back to the Will Rogers Coliseum on a Monday night, taping for Saturday Night Wrestling, November 28th. Buddy Roberts versus Jose Lothario was a time limit draw. For the television championship, the Super Destroyer defeats Johnny Mantell for the TV title. The Missing Link defeats Mike Reed. 2 out of 3 falls. Chris Adams with Sunshine and Kerry Von Erich defeat Jimmy Garvin with Precious and Terry Gordy by DQ. 2 falls to 1. David Von Erich beats Ric Flair in 23 minutes and 47 seconds.
For a minute, I thought you said Mike, and I almost flipped my chair over.
No, David beats Flair in a non-title match. So now David will get the title shot at Christmas that we're going to watch tonight. In Fort Hood, Texas, Super Destroyer beats Johnny Mantell. #2 beats Johnny Mantell. Super Destroyer 1 beats Mike Reed. David Von Erich over Kamala again by disqualification. Kevin Von Erich defeats Terry Gordy. They don't put Kamala's shoulders to the mat very often.
No.
I mean, they've kept Kamala strong against these Von Erichs. I mean, he's running like a chicken shit from the claw, but still. We're at the Sportatorium.
Strong.
It always tickles me that no matter what time period or how over Kamala was, he was this Ugandan beast that was always be afraid of one thing:
Yeah.
the claw, Undertaker's casket. It was
Right.
always there was always something.
Well, it was just, he's simple-minded, and the pain from his head, because he would grab his head like he doesn't want that, and he would just shake his head. No. He was.
I like that.
You can watch it.
To be fair.
We'll see him do that tonight.
To be fair, he could probably apply the claw better than any of the Von Erichs on himself.
So on December 2nd of 1983, we're at the Sportatorium where Coco Samoa defeats Boris Zukov. The Missing Link defeats Johnny Mantell. Chris Adams and Super Destroyer #2 go to a time limit draw. Super Destroyer to #1 defeats Jose Lothario. And for the World 6-Man Tag Team Championship, the Von Erichs, David, Kerry, and Kevy.
Kevy
Von
Little
Erich.
Kevy Kevin.
Chase.
defeat the Fabulous Freebirds, Buddy Roberts, Terry Gordy, and Ric Flair as a substitution for Michael Hayes, and the title changed hands.
Michael Hayes had a pulled groin.
And I believe that Ric Flair took the pin on that. And I bet David's the one that pinned him.
The setup for this show that would make sense.
Yeah. Now we're in Fort Steele, Oklahoma on the 3rd. For Boris Zukov defeating Mike Reed, Chris Adams and Terry Gordy is a time limit draw. Kevin Von Erich defeats Jimmy Garvin, and the Super Destroyer #2 over Johnny Mantell. We're back to Will Rogers for our television taping on the 5th of December. The Missing Link defeats Tom Renesto. Brian Adias defeats the Super Destroyer #2 for the television title. He was had champion for a week. Chris Adams defeats Super Destroyer #1. Mike Von Erich over Buddy Roberts. I think that's early. They had Mike working Buddy Roberts a lot, which is smart because Buddy Roberts would really help him a lot. Terry Gordy defeated Boris Zukov, and David Von Erich defeats Kamala by, y'all guessed it, disqualification.
Oh, what?
Mm.
Oh,
Now we're going to tape some television in Dallas on the 9th. Buddy Roberts and Johnny Mantell is a time limit draw. Jimmy Garvin defeats Doug Vines in 2:51. Kevin Von Erich defeats Buddy Roberts. Iceman King Parsons and Kerry Von Erich beat the Super Destroyers by DQ. The Missing Link defeats Doug Vines, which would be the second part of the TV taping. Doug Vines is doing double duty, getting his ass kicked tonight.
Mm.
The Big Cat, Ernie Ladd, is in and
You're
defeats
stealing
Kamala
money,
by
Bundy.
DQ in 4:25. How about that?
Selling wolf tickets.
Chris Adams and Johnny Mantell defeat Jimmy Garvin and Terry Gordy. I hate
Chris
that.
Adams and who?
Chris Adams and Johnny Mantell.
Okay.
Kevy Von Erich.
And Kevy Von Chase.
Now we're at the Will Rogers Coliseum. We're back for more TV tapings on the 12th. Brian Adias defeats Black Gordman, so he would have retained his TV championship. We're in week 2. I want to remind everybody that the TV championship wasn't like a belt. It was beat the TV champion. When you won the TV championship, you won $500. And every week that you were the TV champion, they put another $500 in the pot. If you could run it the 10 weeks, you got $5,000. And the next week, they'd have 2 more people in to determine the new television champion. So you had to run the gambit to get the $5,000.
Which, by the way, no one ever actually got the $5,000.
I think I can only remember it actually happening once.
It's probably like $87 in real life at the end.
I'm sure it was a kayfabe, $5,000.
Yeah, guaranteed.
So, Super Destroyer number 2 beats Johnny Mantell. Chris Adams defeats the Missing Link by disqualification. Iceman King Parsons defeats the Super Destroyer. The Von Erichs, David, Kerry, and Kevin defeat Jimmy Garvin, Buddy Roberts, and Terry Gordy. Oh, we're filling in for him because Michael Hayes is gone. He can't wrestle in Texas for a year.
Oh, yeah.
That's why Ric Flair was in for him. He wasn't injured, and Jimmy Garvin's filling in here.
We literally just read that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was. Because I was like, man, that's why Hayes isn't here. At the Sportatorium, we're not on television this week. The Missing Link defeats Coco Samoa. Johnny Mantell defeats the Mongol. Buddy Roberts and Jimmy Garvin versus Chris Adams and David Von Erich is a 30-minute time limit draw. Super Destroyer number 2 defeats Iceman by DQ, and Kevin Von Erich defeats Terry Gordy. Now we're back at Fort Worth. This is our go-home show before the show we're going to watch tonight.
Thank God.
Johnny Mantell defeats Mr. Ebony. Brian Adias
Ebony.
and a draw with Super Destroyer, so that's 3 weeks successful. Iceman beats Buddy Roberts. Terry Gordy defeats Kamala by DQ. Chris Adams and Kerry Von Erich defeat Jimmy Garvin and the Missing Link by DQ. Now I'm going to go and I'm going to count how many weeks. We're going to see how many weeks that Brian Adias is TV champ. That was 4. That's 5. Going up here. That's 6.
What was Kevy Von Erich doing here this week?
Kevy was defeating the Super Destroyer number 2 by disqualification. No, Brian Adias loses the TV championship.
Up. Who was the Super Destroyers here?
Wild Bill Irwin and his brother Scott Irwin.
Okay.
In
Nice.
the AWA, they were the Long Riders.
Right.
So there, I brought y'all up through the territory.
Wonder what Bendy Irwin was doing at this point.
Bindi?
Yeah.
I don't know. What is
The
that?
other of the Irwins.
Looks like Dollar Dave is kicking that shiznit with Limp Bizkit tonight.
Yeah, Dollar Bill Dave watching Limp Bizkit.
He's
By the
drinking-
way, July 25th.
What's your
We're going
favorite
to
Limp
North
Bizkit
Dakota,
song
did you?
besides My Way?
No, Faith. Faith is good. Rolling. Keep rolling.
Yeah.
Rolling.
Rolling song.
No, we know it. We know the song.
What is it? Bana?
You know what I liked best about Limp Bizkit?
Where are we going?
Is they didn't feel the need to walk down to the ring and potato superstars.
Nah,
Minot.
because they didn't give a shit.
Minot.
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 Mino.
Minot.
Minot. We're going to Minot, North
Why
Dakota.
not? Minot. Freezing's the reason.
Can we get JD Hoop when he's not too busy or has a moment to do
State
a
Fair,
rendition
North Dakota. Come on.
of
Limp Bizkit's playing it.
Pondwater's
this year.
by morning?
July 25th. Minot.
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 I think it's Minot.
No, it's Minot. It's an Air
It's
Force
not
base.
your not. It's Minot.
It's an Air Force base.
I don't think so.
Minot Air Force Base. Go ahead and Google it. It's
In
there.
North Dakota?
Yes.
Yes.
Too late. My lady already has.
It may or may not be a missile silo.
By the way, we're going there. July 25th.
You're going to go to North
State
Dakota
Fair.
to see Limp Bizkit? Are they not
Fried
anywhere?
corn dogs and Limp Bizkit, baby.
I bet that'll be a fun state fair though.
By the way, someone tell Dollar Bill Dave he wasn't invited because he's already seeing Limp Bizkit. It's me, Step Hens, Pondwater, and Amy.
That's going to be the worst party bus trip ever.
I don't believe I'm going to make it
It's
to
a,
North
it's
Carolina
a
in
long
July.
party bus trip.
Yeah.
Okay.
By the way, we have to fly into Minneapolis, and it's a 10-hour drive.
Bismarck.
Bismarcky. We're going to Bismarcky. We'll say he's just a friend, and they'll put us on a bus
That's a key
and
cut.
take us there.
Oh baby, you got what I
Wow.
need.
Keep going with that, Pondwater. I like it.
But you say he just a friend.
By the way, we're
You
now
say he just a friend.
4
Oh
minutes out
baby,
from the watch line.
you. And it's what's bad is I actually probably sing it better than he does.
Do I need to pull this up on the YouTubes?
Yeah, no, pull it up on the. All right, so we're gonna tell everyone in 4 minutes, but
Oh, I'm gonna
Is
have
it
to
on
read
pull
it.
out your cock.
Oh,
Go
wow.
to
It took me
World
an hour.
Class
It took me an
Championship
hour to read
Wrestling.
3 months worth of world class. How about that? Not just in my tuna can Jones. I'm time killer Jones.
Apparently, Limp Bizkit not great because Dollar Bill Dave still sending messages to us.
Did Limp Bizkit didn't perform live at WrestleMania 17? They did
Yeah,
the
they-
theme song.
no.
Motorhead.
They did it-
Motorhead
they did
was
it.
live.
They did it at 19. I was there.
Okay. They performed Rolling live for The Undertaker.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
'cause
they did a
Motorhead
song pre-show,
performed at
too.
17 when I was
Yeah,
there for
They did a
for Triple
song
H.
pre-show too. And what's fun is if you go back and like watch the footage on Peacock, like Limp Bizkit gets a Hogan pop when they come out. It's not how it really was in the stadium. I'm not going to say they got booed out of the stadium, but you had Limp Bizkit in the House of Grunge, and they're like, "This would be a great idea," and they got shit on.
I'd have popped for him.
I mean, again, it was half and half for sure.
Literally, why I'm going to my top knot, North Dakota.
Are you really going to Minot?
You damn right I am. Because Metallica can't seem to tell me which days Limp Bizkit's going to be there. So I'm going to skip those concerts because they got like 3 left.
Boy,
And I'm going to Minot, North Dakota, July 25th.
You don't plan fun vacations.
What is not fun about Limp Bizkit?
North Dakota. That's what's not fun about it.
Guess what? I can fly in 6 hours away, rent a car, drive 6 hours. Next morning, drive 6 hours right back to the airport.
Sounds terrible.
I'll be home in less than 12.
all right. We'll explain this. We'll explain this up front, and then we'll explain it again when it gets closer to the end of the episode, so you'll know. And in between episodes, we'll give you time to switch over. But Peacock should continue on to the next episode, so it should not be a big deal. And I was going to tell y'all to fast forward. We're covering 2 episodes, and then the main event's going to be on the 3rd episode, 2 minutes and 12 seconds in the program. We're just going to watch it straight through. We're just going to let it roll. We'll sync up. We may give you a brief intermission.
Well, I'm going to take a brief intermission right
Well,
here
we
in
know.
about 10 seconds.
I'm actually
Yeah,
surprised you
when I
haven't
hit the
taken one
intro.
already.
And
Before we do that, you want to play the theme song? You want to play the intro song for everybody again?
what theme song?
That's TJ, Dave, and Timmy C. Pondwater and Amy join the clatter, talking about things that truly do matter. Amy's insight, Pondwater's wit, Drunken Pop keeps talking that shiznit. Watch-alongs and talks all night, every episode feels just right. We've got the banter, the random flair, inside jokes flying everywhere. From experts' takes to a drunken spill, we'll keep you hooked with every thrill. Wrestling moves and pop culture streams, laughing so hard we're bursting at the seams. Sports and shows, pre-post and watch along. Grab your cup, come groove to our song.
There we are.
All right, so what am I searching? Because I can only find 1981.
You're going to go to season 2, episode 51,
Of what?
World Class Wrestling. You're going to go to Peacock. You're going to scan down to WWE. You're going to go down to Territory. You scroll all the way over to Territories. World Class Championship Wrestling, season 2, episode 51.
I'm there.
And we're going to tell y'all we're going to do a countdown and tell you to hit play here in just a minute. Waiting for Timmy C.
I mean, we don't have to. Fuck him, kind of.
I mean, he's kind of got to push play on his too.
I heard
Nah.
that.
What? Which part?
All of it.
Well, we talked about how good of a friend you are.
No, I don't think I heard that part.
Oh, okay.
Oh, what a friend we have in Timmy.
So in 3, 2, 1, play.
Play.
Do, 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 do.
I'm going to track it a little bit.
There's nothing I enjoy more than 1983 television graphics. It's my favorite thing.
Lots of
And you must
clap
like
shots
the
on
real
here.
American. You must like the real American beer commercials Hulk Hogan does.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest with you, I've never seen one.
Oh, watch them during Raw.
What?
During Raw, watch one. I mean, it's like they do this with iMovie and MS Paint. All right, we're welcoming us. We're showing Kerry Von Erich from Thanksgiving rescuing David.
He just vaulted over the announcers.
Yes,
He might have used the announcers as the step.
and Kerry
Dan?
has body slammed Kamala, but Akbar says no $10,000 for you because you did not do it during a match. But Kerry had run into because after David had beat Kamala at Thanksgiving, they were attacking him, and Kerry got that body slam. So the body slam story is what we're telling tonight with Kamala and Kerry.
Bill Mercer dressed like his senior prom.
He shaved and everything.
Yeah, look at him.
There's Darren Staley in the house.
And since we are just starting,
We're gonna have to tell Darren Staley. Darren Staley, I bet you he has not upgraded his Peacock to the non-commercial format yet.
I bet he has. He learned. He
Did
learned
he?
from his lessons. But there is a stranger in his house, so it could take him
Somebody
away from him.
can't see.
wait, what?
All right,
So-
you'll get it here in a little bit, Stephens.
Okay, so we might as well do a time check while we're just starting. I've got 1:58:59, 2 minutes is where I'm at.
Right now we have Ralph. We have Ralph Pulley in the ring. Ralph Pulley is
like
going to
Shane
become a jack.
McMahon singing "Oh Canada."
I was gonna say Tony Schiavone.
That's Ralph Pulley. He's going to be a jack of all trades in world class. He's going to be a ring announcer. He sings. He's not singing the national anthem. He's singing "God Bless America."
So Vince copied that too. Son of a bitch.
Was that guy wearing a Gatorade blanket?
And Ralph
Why
Pulley,
is it so cold there?
he's going to do a little. He's going to do a little bit of refereeing too later on, and he's no longer with us because the AIDS got him.
Because of cocaine, yeah. By the way, do you want to know what the most common thing between a set of titties in that arena was?
You can't sell that joke.
Belly button.
Belly buttons.
I was gonna say
It's not yours.
No. Hey, that's how Rasslin used to be, but they're going to show some crowd shots, and there's going to be some Roll Tide in the crowd tonight.
Sure there are.
I watched this a couple days ago.
You nerd.
Just because it was Tuesday.
I
I
wanted to do some.
I watched this Star Wars a couple days ago simply because
I wanted to do some prep for the watch.
it's a day that ended in
I
Y.
did, because we're fixing to bring our first match to the ring, and that's going to be the Missing Link and Johnny Mantell.
So I know the missing link is Dewey Robertson. Has he done anything other than this?
Oh yeah. It's funny
By
that
the
you
way,
should ask,
Darren
DJ.
Staley, I need to know what the first commercial is when you reach it. Guarantee it's going to be a degree and a first break.
And as we are in this reunion arena, you cannot.
Playing Ric Flair's music. He doesn't come out to 2001 at this show, but I believe at the time with the lights are out because they're doing like a little laser. A little laser looks like, what was that arcade game that you used to? Tempest.
Mm-hmm.
It was it was reminiscent of a game of Tempest.
Nice,
Is that
nice
like Super
callback. That's good.
Breakout or
No.
But we're gonna get the Link versus Johnny Mantell. The Missing Link is born Byron Jameston Robinson.
Jameston?
Jameston.
Okay.
He was born February 28th of 1939 in Toronto.
So here in 82, he was 43 years old.
There you go, Tony. His first ad was Emu. The second one was Home Depot.
Anyway, he was rumored to be the protege.
You were selling emus on YouTube?
I'm on the long end of a pay period. It was rumored that Dewey Robinson was a protege of Billy Whipper Watson, but he was not the former NWA champion. But that he was actually his godfather.
Oh.
He headed south in 1973 and was working in the South and in Australia.
Well, that's south.
So he
That
would have
is
been
definitely
down
south.
there in the 70s. He would have been down there working for my boy.
So I've heard of Ken Mantell. Who is this
his
guy?
brother?
This is Johnny Mantell. Made his debut in World Class exactly 1 year ago when this was recorded. He was Tom Steele in the 6-man tag match against the Freebirds when they won the 6-man title tournament with David.
By the way, Missing Link for being.
But it is
43,
legitimately Kim Mantell's brother, Johnny.
Fucking brick shit house.
By the way, we should since Darren Staley brings us up, if he didn't have to pay so damn much for our description to us, maybe he could afford to upgrade his
$1?
How much is our subscription again?
$1.
$1. It takes $1 to make you holler.
You could get 1/18.
Hell, we're almost paying.
Premium plus subscription.
I got a T-shirt. We got a T-shirt for $13.99. Where are you going to get a T-shirt for $13.99?
You can't even get a month's worth of the cock for that.
Also, I find
shirt, Timmy.
I find it a little enraging that you're going to blame us for your substandard cock. I'm a little
Your substandard cock.
Sub premium.
Where's we got so much crap in here. All right. There's the shirt right there.
Look at that.
And if you'd like that shirt for less than a month of the cock, you can go right there. I try to look like the clouds.
www.bumblefuck.com.
If you don't like scanning QR codes, go to jumpinthepond.com for all of our merch. But our big time promotion is on the 2 shows, 1 cup T-shirt. Really proud of that. It comes in many colors.
You go there too and watch us a lot. Or if you want to spend Darren Staley's dollar, go there.
But he headed down there and he put on a mask. He was the Masked Crusader. And he was keeping wrestling scientific was his gimmick.
Who? Mantell?
Dewey Robinson, the missing link.
Oh.
Then he was unmasked by the Sheik. Not the Iron Sheik, the Sheik.
But he's not
The Detroit.
like Detroit Sheik.
The Detroit Sheik is who unmasked him.
But he's not wearing a mask.
Well, he is not, but well, kind of.
Oh, you mean back then?
But I'm giving you some background on the missing link.
So,
Then he became the Crusaders with Billy Redlines,
Okay.
and he owned a gym in the 70s.
I can tell that.
His first championship was the Tri-State U.S. Tag Team titles with Dennis Stamp.
I
Oh
only do
my
main
God!
events.
No way.
I only do main events, Funker.
And then he had the NWA International tags. He went to the WWWF in 77 and 78. But I think he had a little substance problem that got him dismissed from there.
Well, it looks like he's had a substance problem for years.
Then he went
By
to
the
the
way, the
NWA
Missing
from
Link
79
is
to
like
83.
I don't
he-
care what you name your roosters, asshole.
And when he went in, he was managed by the Nature Boy Buddy Rogers using a figure 4 leg lock.
Wow.
He won the NWA Canadian Championship in Toronto. He went through Gene Kaninsky, Ken Patera, and Johnny Valentine to get to that championship.
Boy, that was a remember the 70s tournament if I ever heard one.
He successfully defended the championship against Harley Race while he was NWA champion. And he successfully defended against Nick Bockwinkel while he was the AWA champion. And by defeating Bockwinkel, earned a shot at the AWA championship, which he failed to win. But he lost the title to Sheiky Baby, Iron Sheik. When it's time to take Dewey Robinson down a peg, then they're bringing in the Sheiks.
Bring in the Sheik.
He has a son, named Jason, and I believe that he was using a brand of condom called the Sheik,
Oh,
and it broke. No, I'm just making all that up.
I mean, I was going with it. You had me.
Well, I believe he has a son, and he was.
He
laid
does have
off
a son that he
from
tag
WWE
teamed with.
this weekend.
He was tag teaming with his son at the end of World Class, Wild West, and all then.
The missing link and Jack Link.
He was the Mid-Atlantic Television Champion, Tag Team Champion with George Wells, the NWA Central States Television Championship, but he vacated that to focus on his tagging.
George Wells, famous for losing at WrestleMania 2, by the way.
He teamed with the likes of Rufus R. Freight Train Jones, Steve Regal, and Hercules Hernandez.
He kind of looks like Hercules. Like his build is very Hercules Hernandez. Like I own Balco.
I don't want to speak ill of which Mantell is this? Richard
John.
I don't want
It's Dutch Mantell.
Dutch Mantell. I don't want to speak ill of this whichever incarnation of Mantell this is, but this match should have ended 6 minutes ago.
Yeah. Johnny Mantell normally holds his own, and he's got some really, really good time limit draws with Chris Adams. 10-minute
No,
time
I'm
limit
not
draws.
arguing that.
Did he just
Go ahead.
headbutt his asshole?
He did. I'm not arguing that at all.
That's
What I'm
his
saying is,
finisher.
if you have a gimmick of a guy like the missing link, this should have ended a while ago.
Yeah.
Well, it takes you a while to get that asshole exposed.
Well, he
he
debuted this
just
gimmick
headbutted.
in Mid-South in 83. He was Max the Missing Link.
This is a good one.
And I used to see him and his son eating at Bonanza in Garland, Texas.
Don't ask, don't man tell. That's good. I like that. So I looked up some other things while we're watching this card of what
Salt and pepper, sir. Salt and pepper.
that's too much. What the rest of the territory system was offering here on Christmas Day. Would you like to hear the card on December 25th, 1983 that AWA was presenting?
Oh, I'm sure it's fabulous.
This was in
Hang
St.
on,
Paul,
my
Minnesota.
peacock stopped.
That's what she said. So I need to
He's
pause
having,
mine
he's
now.
having a little problem with his peacock. He's got to
Well, I
get
mean-
it back up.
I just paused mine at 13 minutes even.
Damn it.
And it looks like I've got Iceman King Parsons and Steve Perry from Journey.
Well, he won't. He will not stop believing that that's Steve Perry.
You're at 13 minutes even?
On the dot. Steve Perry has his
In.
eyes closed.
3, 2, 1, play.
Gotcha. Thank you, sir.
So in the AWA, you got Rock and Roll Buck Zumhoff,
Ruckin.
who is definitely in prison, defeating Bill White. Billy Robinson defeated he drew with Brad Rangans in a 20-minute time limit draw. Rick Martel beat superstar Billy Graham by disqualification. Jesse Ventura beat Steve Altonoski in 18 and a half minutes.
Bless you.
Yeah. Baron Von Raschke, Ray Stevens, and the High Flyers, which for those of you who don't know is Greg Valentine, Greg Gagne, and Jim Brazel, defeated the Sheiks of Jerry Blackwell and Ken Patera, Mr. Saito, and Sheik Adnan Al-Kaisi.
It'd have been better if the High Flyers had Greg Valentine in them.
And that, by the way, that match was also 16 minutes. And your main event, Mad Dog Vachon with the Crusher defeated Nick Bockwinkel with Bobby Heenan by disqualification. Thus, Bockwinkel retains the AWA title.
What in the hell? How'd they
Look
win?
at them, no. Can you see now that you know the one on the left's Wild Bill Irwin? Can you tell?
Yes.
I did not know the whole run that was Wild Bill Irwin.
By the
So
way,
you
the
know-
one on the right looks like Mr. Perfect.
You know, you could have done just now, Dave. Like, so, you know, on the one on the left, look at him now, you know it's Steve Irwin. And I've been like, yes. You're like, well, actually, that's Bill, dumbass.
Look, they're showing from Thanksgiving when they set the Iceman on fire.
It looks like Bindi Irwin.
It looks like they lit him on fire.
So the
It
talking's
does.
over.
Like his chest looks very on fire.
Man, and they would doctor it up before he'd come out and do interviews.
No, well, they were doctoring it up because they actually set him on fire. Literal doctors had to doctor him up.
What about Mid-South? You want to hear what Mid-South was doing here on Christmas night, 83?
Yeah.
Probably better
Hex-
than what AWA was doing.
Hacksaw Jim Duggan beat Crusher Darso in a 2 out of 3 falls match. In a steel cage.
Was it a demolition?
Sure. In a steel cage for the tag team titles. It's tag team titles versus Mask. Hacksaw, Butch Reed, and Jim the Anvil Neidhart, who are your champions, take on Magnum TA and Mr. Wrestling 2.
So they wanted Mr. Wrestling 2's mask?
No, it's yes, Mr. Wrestling 2's mask, yes.
Was that Bill Eadie?
No, that was Mr. Wrestling number 2 was Tim Woods,
So which one did Bill Eadie play?
the Super Destroyer
Super Destroyer.
and the mask superstar.
Matt Superstar. That was him.
We got to ask for a timestamp, so we're at 16 minutes, 16:02:03:04. And it appears those were the only 2 matches on the card.
Hey, dumbass. He didn't ask you. He asked me.
But you
We're
didn't do
at
it.
16, 15, 16, 17.
You didn't do it, so I did it.
Well, I didn't see it.
TJ, did you love those tag belts that they were wearing?
No.
I gotta
Did
be
you
honest
notice-
with you. I was busy reading.
Oh, they were some of the best shots of the American Tag Team titles you were going to see. No, I'm just talking about because you didn't see the belts. You didn't see the belts presented on television. I think the Freebirds never showed them the whole time they were American Tag Team champions.
They didn't. I've not seen them.
Showing the belts
look
in
like
World
every
Class
other
was
belt
not a
there.
big deal till '84. This is Brian Adias. He was born Brian Gower, June 1st of 1960. He was ranked 5th in the national in shot put and nationally. He earned a 4-year scholarship at the University of Texas in Arlington. He was the Southland Conference champion 4 times.
He looks like Lanny Poffo and Ron Simmons had a baby.
He trained with Fritz von Erich. Fritz von Erich trained him. He was Carrie's legit best friend growing up. Also, I'd like to tell you all right now, over on Max, there's a show called Hollywood Demons, and they just did an episode on the Von Erichs with Kevin, his daughter Kristen, Lacey and Holly Von Erich, Carrie's daughters, Bill Koval, who was the bodyguard for the Von Erichs, and Brian Adias was on there as well. So, I mean, the Iron Claw story is kind of getting told by people that were there. There's some things that I picked apart about it because
there's Santa in the crowd.
Because they had MJF on there, and he was not what I would have considered an expert on the Von Erichs, but he was in the Iron Claw movie, so I guess they decided they'd get him as a name.
Mhm.
But they were trying to talk about this big match at Texas Stadium, and they don't have any footage of Texas Stadium because it's not there anymore. So they were showing the Cotton Bowl.
Nice.
But it was definitely when they showed inside the arena that. But he's on there. Also, Brian Adias will go, and he will be on Starcade in '84. And what I believe is one of his very few Crockett appearances. In 1986, he turned heel on the Von Erichs. He's a 2-time Texas heavyweight champion, a world tag team champion with Al Madrill, and an American champion, tag team champion with Iceman King Parsons. Spoiler alert.
Oh, that was rude.
I wonder if they win this one.
But Iceman's born King Bailey Parsons Jr.
His name is King.
Yes,
Jesus Christ.
he went by Bailey. His friends call him Bailey.
I don't think he has any friends.
The woman that gave me his phone number told me his name was Bailey.
But you ain't got to call me Johnson.
Because I had a really nice 15-minute conversation on the phone with him earlier this year, trying to get him to come on my show.
Did he?
No, he's writing a book. He don't.
It wasn't that nice of a conversation.
No, he's got a book coming out. He's trying to write a book. He doesn't want to. He's not sure about podcasts. He don't see any reason coming on telling stories about them.
He couldn't remember one.
But he was real nice to me. I couldn't get him off the phone. I mean, he was just fun to talk to, and I was trying not to take up a lot of his time, but I was responding to the questions he was asking me. So,
well, you should have just like put a mic to the phone and be like, all right, so you won't be on my show, but
You know what we should do is rename this show Timestamps for Darren Staley, because we're at 2013, 14, 15.
and once you get past that Nespresso ad, you'll be at
You'll be in the clear.
2022.
to get him a Zoom, I had to get him a Zoom window and share my screen with him. In the early 80s, he rose to fame. He spent some time in Portland. I'm looking forward to seeing his Portland work, Terry.
Who's Terry?
TJ.
Terrence TJ Steppins.
That's why, because I said you ain't got to call me Johnson. That's why.
Sorry, man. He later feuded with the Von Erichs, and in my opinion, and Dollar Dave gets upset when I say this, Iceman King Parsons to me is the first black heavyweight champion of the world. Because
Well, he can get upset all he wants.
World Class was just
right now.
World Class was just as hot, if not hotter, than WCW was in '92, and World Class was being seen all around the world. And that title was actually defended in Israel and Japan. So,
that's right, because he goes with Ron Simmons.
So what I'm saying is that Iceman King Parsons World Championship is every bit as valid as the '92 version of the WCW Championship.
Probably more, actually.
But Ron Simmons, because he was on the Superstation, gets.
No, it's
And it's a hell of an achievement on that level, because at the time it was the number 2 promotion in the world.
Right. I think he just gave a backhanded compliment to WCW in 1992.
Well, I'm just saying.
Like, look, they weren't on TV in Israel. I don't know how to say it.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you what. It was Darren Staley said, "Look, I am stupid. Ask Dave how it went when I tried to play online Monopoly. I couldn't figure it out.
That checks out.
I just finally started looking for him and found him and sent him and requested him as a friend on Monopoly. But I literally sent him the link that he had to click to go to it and add me.
Oh, I was hoping that he thought that he played you, and you're like, I just now found him. I don't know who he played.
Well, you play everybody.
You played Riverwater, Dave.
It's Monopoly to go. It's not traditional Monopoly. It's Star Wars month on Monopoly, so the trains are turned into TIE fighters.
Oh,
nerd shit. Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, it's.
By the way, Darren Staley, Minot, North Dakota.
why not?
July 25th.
He can't afford Peacock. You're going to invite him to Minot?
Yeah, why not?
All you got to do is take a flight to Minneapolis and then that sweet 8-hour car drive to Minot.
That sounds just the worst.
I think this is as long as I can ever remember Brian Adias' hair being. And a fun
He
Pondwater
wrestled in WCW
the
under
match
his,
that I first
true
saw.
name, Brian
time I saw-
Adidas.
Adias, not like a
Adidas.
tennis shoe.
All day he
But it's
dreamt about
pronounced Adidas a lot,
Yeah.
especially by Mercer. The first
that. He had hairy
wrestling match
nipples. That was-
I ever
that was
saw
a
Ric
big
Flair in the
problem.
ring with anybody was with Brian Adias.
Look at his nipples. Why
I
is
don't-
the rest of his chest bare?
Why did
but
you
his
just say
nipples are
that?
hairy?
What's fun about Brian Adias is he left this show and then went and headlined a show for Kansas, which is great.
Carry on, wayward son.
We're
I
gonna
don't-
have
Again,
we're
I don't
gonna have
think
a match. We're gonna have probably which y'all are gonna consider the suckiest match of the night, which I don't think it's gonna be, but
I'm excited.
on
Too
paper
late.
you would think
Too
that.
late. I'm thinking the first one is.
But what I'm saying is I'm gonna drop a fact on y'all about a wrestler that you're not going to expect to hear it about. And it's gonna be your takeaway of the night.
I got to be honest with you. I wasn't expecting much on anyone. So, by the way, I think I don't know how to tell Darren. I don't think he's subscribing to the right show.
He's on like Sophie Rain's OnlyFans and
Yeah,
doesn't realize it.
It's
like-
$1.
Why do these titties keep popping up at me?
It's $1.
Which, by the way, you probably could fly to Minneapolis for $2 on the right airline.
No, I don't know if I'd call it the right airline.
It might not be the right airline to get you all the way there, but
You have to sit in a lawn chair. So
Yeah.
the WWF
Sure,
did not
that's
have.
what I said.
Yeah, they didn't have a show Christmas night. They had one the next night. If you guys, and it's a doozy. Just reading through this one. Your opening match: Jose Luis Rivera beat Rene Goulet in 10 minutes.
This is where?
The WWF.
Oh,
Salvatore Bellomo beat Drew Tiger Chung Lee in 20 minutes.
goddamn.
Salvatore
Salvatore
Bellomo.
Bellomo.
20
Drew. 20
Tiger
minute
Chung
drop
Lee.
with Tiger
None
Chung
of
Lee.
that's a misspeak.
Woo. Here we go. Arnold Skoland and Bob Backlund beat Captain Lou Albano and Jimmy Snuka in 10 minutes.
That'd have been fun.
Sure. Sergeant Slaughter beat Chief Jay Strongbow in 7.5 minutes. The Mass Superstar defeated Ivan Putski by disqualification in exactly 7 minutes.
Was that Bill Eadie?
That was.
Ivan Putski, my very first favorite wrestler. When I was,
Of course he was.
when I was,
Juice
I mean, I was
to the
like 5 years old.
Like,
Uh,
look at
the-
those 10 muscles.
The Iron Sheik with Freddie Blassie beat Bob Backlund with Arnold Skoland to win the WWF World Heavyweight title. So there you go. That was that was this night. It was the night after.
That was that, yeah.
The Wild
Say that
Samoans.
again.
Iron Sheik with Freddie Blassie beat Bob Backlund with Arnold Skoland to win the WWF World title. So the night after this show is when Bob Backlund won the world title. Or I'm sorry, Iron Sheik won it.
So WWF's card, while shitty, was on the verge of doing something really, really
Oh no,
good.
I wasn't done yet. There's more.
Wait a minute. Did you say that he beats Backlund on the same card that Backlund tag teamed with Skolin against Snuka.
Well, now we know why he lost.
That was, Arnold Skolin and Bob Backlund against Captain Lou Albano and Jimmy
I
Snuka.
bet what they did is they worked on his back during that match.
Probably.
And he already had a bad back from doing the
Yeah, and then
because Skolin because Backlund didn't give up. Arnold threw the towel in for him.
Right. And then he disappeared for a
Unlike
couple years.
Gunther, who tapped like a bitch immediately.
Oh, that's rude.
kind of his gimmick.
Here's the rest of the card. The Wild Samoans, Afa, Samula, and Sika defeated Rocky Johnson, SD
Samula?
Jones, and Samula.
Is
And
that their mom?
what?
Is that their mom?
I don't know who that is. Rocky Johnson, SD Jones, and Tony Atlas in a 2 out of 3 falls 6-man tag match in 20 minutes. Tito Santana beat Ivan Koloff in 15 minutes and 46 seconds. And the Invaders beat Butcher Machon and Iron Mike Sharp in 4 minutes and 45 seconds.
And then he showered for an hour and a half.
It
My
might be
good
the night he
friend-
got left in.
My good friend Conrad Thompson retweeted my Tuna Can Jones, the song, my Tuna Can Jones, the shirt tweet, and my phone started blowing up.
Nice.
By the way, humble brag.
Yeah.
My good friend. Or could be Look at Me Louie.
No, it wasn't name dropping. Just
Really?
but we know when Conrad sprinkles some Conrad dust on something that things happen.
That's true. I've been waiting for 4 years now.
That's right. It's the Conrad juice you got to worry about. That's when.
So what?
Now you know how I got Ric Flair's last match.
Nice. Did he at least let you like wear like the barber's robe before he did whatever he does?
I'm really hoping Darren Staley doesn't have a dime in his pocket.
Well, he would have all the dimes if he did. Because Timmy definitely owns a cock ring.
What?
He's got Jacob's ladder. You know what that means?
I don't know what that means.
Has Harry Nips been in this match this whole time so far?
Yeah, the superpower.
He should really tag. You know, Owen Hart kicked his leg out from under his brother's leg for this very selfish behavior.
Over on my text messages, my good friend Mike Page says, Dave, how come you didn't become a jockey? I mean, with your size, didn't you dream of winning the Kentucky Derby?
That's fair.
That's friend for you right there.
So did you just rename Dallas Mike?
No, Mike Page is who got me in wrestling. Medic number 1 when I managed him as Dr. Phil D. Payne.
Ah,
Phil D. Payne.
Yeah.
Very
Him and
clever.
medic number two.
Clever.
Him
In
and medic number 2 could not pull off the twin magic spot because their bodies two very different ones. Billy Sellers, I'm drinking moonshine now. I love it.
Oh, this will be fun.
Cheers, Billy Sellers.
I want to be the babyface manager against Pondwater Dave one of these days, and I'll be Dr. Phil D's nuts.
Do you think Josh Turnoff will
Yes,
announce for that match? Yes.
already yes. And the high spot of the match will be me giving Pondwater the stink face, but I got to do a fruit bowl first.
Dollar Dave's reporting that him and Cassio are going to die tonight.
Yes.
That'll be fun.
Apparently, I didn't know you could just buy bottles of Crown at a stadium, but apparently you can.
Well, and all right, so the weirdest thing was not that he bought it. Did you see the picture he sent? They
Yes.
apparently just served it to him in a shaker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're, like, take the top off, maybe?
They're not even trying
Here,
anymore. And they
Here,
just
I'm done trying to please you.
they just
Is that at
murdered Brian
Nissan
to death.
Stadium?
Run.
Yeah, it's Nissan Stadium.
Oh, if they get 2 raindrops, they're going to cancel the show. The bitches at Nissan Stadium.
Oh. So they just
I
murdered
hate
Brian
Nissan
Diaz.
Stadium. I'd rather slide down a 50-foot razor blade into a bucket of alcohol to ever attend another event at Nissan Stadium. You could give me free tickets. You give me free tickets to go to Nissan Stadium. I won't go.
I don't believe you.
No,
Well,
I don't.
To be fair, it's only going to be around for about 3 more years. So
What if it was George Strait? Free tickets.
Let me tell you my George Strait story at Nissan Stadium.
he would
And they weren't
show up
free.
to George
And they
Strait
weren't-
at Nissan Stadium, and his shirt would be untucked.
They weren't free
Oh.
tickets. They were not free tickets. And my daughter bought those for me for Christmas. And I looked forward to the goddamn concert all year. And Taylor Swift played there, and it had a bad storm, and she leaves the stage, but she made everybody stay, and she finished her concert at 3:00 in the morning. So Nissan Stadium said, no, we're not going to do that again. So when the rain hit for George Strait, George said, hey, y'all, they're going to make me leave. And then he stepped out in the rain with his guitar, started playing Amarillo by Morning. So his band had to scramble back to join in with him. He said, I wasn't going to leave without singing that. And I mean, it was a bad storm, but we could have waited it out in the concourse. Also, you knew the storm was coming. So you maybe y'all is not worried about Chris Stapleton and Little Big Town and gone ahead and put George on there. Because I guarantee you, nobody bought a ticket and would have been upset if George would have gone first.
Incorrect. Well, first off, why
I
did
got
George
12.
go first?
I got 12 out. 12
He's the
songs. Out of
headliner.
it.
You don't put the headliner out first.
But you do if you know you're not going to finish the concert.
Incorrect.
So he plays 12 songs out of 33 out of a 33 song set. So whoever made that decision at Nissan Stadium that night, whoever made that decision, I wish I knew who it was, because I'd go down to New Orleans tomorrow and I'd buy like 175 voodoo dolls and just start stabbing the shit out of them.
With his shirt tucked in.
Also,
who should have been opening for him?
if I'm sitting in the rain in Nissan Stadium and I don't hear Boondocks, I'm lighting something on fire.
They were very good. They were very good. It's just
They
that,
are. I've seen them.
But I went to go see. But I went to go see George.
Maren Morris.
Mm.
Mighty fine pussy she's got.
What are you doing?
Have you not seen that video?
No.
Yeah, I've seen it.
I knew
I seen it.
Pondwater did. Apparently, she just walks up on stage with a floaty dress and no
It was hot,
underwear.
man.
But she's like,
tearing
hey,
that fucker out.
look at this veg.
No, I guess I was hoping you meant it was like a picture for Cat. That way
No.
somehow maybe we
She-
could
she
advertise
squeezes
this
the bag
episode
out.
on.
Will you go back to Nissan Stadium? Check yes or no.
I
I
was
probably won't go to that son of a bitch when they open the new one.
I was hoping that if Timmy kind of implied he was talking to a cat, we might have been able to advertise the show on YouTube, but now I'm not sure that we can. So
We can still advertise it.
no, he's got to cut it from shorts again.
Yeah.
Yeah, leave out
You
the
better-
Tim.
I wasn't
you
the one
better
that
advertise in the
underwear
store.
on the stage.
You get more out of advertising shorts.
We gotta leave. We gotta cut out Timmy's crotchal talk.
To be fair, Maren Morris out of shorts completely, apparently. She's just dancing on stage with no pants.
Oh, she's just shirt, no pants. That's brave.
If you're tuning in, I'd like to thank y'all. We're celebrating
We need
1,000
a blue
subscribers,
bag.
but now we're actually celebrating 1,284 subscribers as we speak.
Yeah, because you guys are the shit.
It'll be 1,300
I mean-
by the time we're done.
We hit 1,000 a week ago,
It's true.
and now we're at 1,284. So much.
By the way,
love.
we are at 35, 54, 55, 56, 57.
Oh
Darren Staley's on one today.
yeah.
By the way,
tell you-
Darren Staley, that's how it goes in Nashville.
You'd be surprised how many
Literally,
times
out of the clear blue sky, it'll start storming.
You'll be surprised how many times I'm doing my show, and I just finally quit looking at the chat because he'll get me so cracked up.
There is no chance Kamala's 6'10".
He's 5'10".
There's no way. He's 6'10". And it's not like you could put lifts on his
No
feet.
chance Kerry Von Erich 6'3".
He's got a hickey on his titty though.
He's 6'2" with both feet, 6 foot with 1 foot.
I mean, you can't. It's not like you can put lifts on Kamala's feet and make him taller.
You can
And-
actually.
Yeah, they'd be called shoes.
Kamala's handler
Peter
Friday
Twins big
is
heels
actually
on.
a wrestler named Jack Dalton.
So is that are they? So is Friday the person we would get to know as Kim Chi? in
Yes.
WWF. All right. Obviously, it's a different person. I know that, but I mean, they did the same character with the mask. They just called him
Right.
Kim Chi.
This version of him was Jack Dalton. I used to referee for his son, Andy Dalton, Dirty Andy Dalton, not the TCU
Red
quarterback.
Rifle?
Not the TCU quarterback.
TCU. Piss off.
Chicago Bears legend Andy Dalton.
Cincinnati Bengals legend Andy Dalton.
Carolina
Red
Panthers.
Rifle.
legend.
Pew,
Pew pew. He says.
pew.
God.
One of these days, I'll get my cell phone footage out. Well,
Please don't.
You could see the footage of the storm blowing in at Nissan Stadium. It was
Oh,
bad.
Nissan Stadium.
It was
Okay.
bad. I mean, the time lapse on it was. But we could have waited, and we would have waited. And also, I don't know if y'all know this or not, but it's higher than giraffe pussy to get a room in Nashville. We stayed an hour. We stayed an hour and a half out of town, so we had to drive.
Well, all right. So this was the discussion because Sarah and I were considering going to Metallica and Limp Bizkit tonight. We're like, we're gonna make a last minute decision, and we were considering it. And last night, Dave goes, "We're staying at the Gaylord," and I was like, "Opryland?" Yeah. I pulled it up, $430. It's also like a $60 Uber ride from the stadium to the hotel. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm good. I don't need to spend $800 to go
Right.
see them. I said, I could literally stay downtown for the same price you're paying to go to Opryland.
Or we could just pay and go to North Dakota.
Yeah,
Interesting.
or we can go to North Dakota, cheaper.
Look,
Yeah,
look at him. Look at him beg off that claw. Look at him. Carrie showed him the claw and he backs off. There you Look at him.
If you made me choose between Nashville and Minot, I'm picking Minot.
Yeah, I'm picking Minot too. I bet you get a good corn dog.
It's a state fair, I guarantee.
I guarantee you
You're gonna
can.
get a hell of a corn
I'm
dog.
gonna get a corn
They
dog.
have
I'm
an
gonna get a
Oreo
turkey
fried
leg.
into it.
Listen, if they don't have a good cod sandwich, I ain't wanting nothing to do with that place.
How do you spell why not?
MINOT.
It's
M-
Minot.
YNOT?
Yep. North
State
Dakota.
Fair?
State Fair, North Dakota. Limp Bizkit performing on the Friday. By the way, Luke Bryan performing on the Saturday. If you want to make a good weekend out of it.
No, but no, there's no such thing as good and Luke Bryan in the same.
Mm.
Let me tell you,
Ooh.
Luke Bryan walks
Oh.
into a bar. That's it. It's not a joke. Fucking up country music's not funny.
Oh, wow.
It's kind of
This-
funny. It's
this
kinda
last
funny when
15
you talk about it.
These last 15 minutes have been, hey, what pisses Pondwater off? And so far, we're at Nissan Stadium, Rain, and Luke Bryan.
Yeah,
And
I'd rather
Kamala
see.
kicking Kerry Von Erich's ass.
I'd rather watch puppies suffer.
Jesus.
In Minot.
By the way, we went and saw SummerSlam in Nashville a couple of years ago, and they could not have treated us better than what they did.
Hey, Jelly Roll's going to be there July 20th.
I know, but I'm not staying all week. I only want to go see Limp Bizkit.
Do they have a demolition derby at their state fair?
I guarantee it. By the way, Darren Staley, 100% right. Luke Combs is definitely better than Luke Bryan.
Honeycombs is better than Luke Bryan.
Yeah.
I saw Luke Combs at Nissan Stadium.
Unsanitized beard combs are better than Luke Bryan.
Ray Combs is better than Luke Combs.
And would be more interesting to see right now.
Oh, I mean, if you're into like body decomp, yeah, it would be.
They didn't call him Jelly
Hey,
Roll
while
because
we're
he-
at the Minot State Fair,
it'd be
look-
weird to call it.
look at Kamala's face.
Jelly Roll.
look at Kamala's face while he's putting this nerve hold on Carrie.
He's in a trance.
It's the Texas titty twister.
Feel
Oh.
the nipples.
Hey, notice the old man at ringside wore his suit for Christmas.
That's a good point. I forgot we had a light shining in our face the entire show of SummerSlam.
But while we're at the Minot State Fair, we can have funnel cakes and corn dogs, as well as unique items like pickle pizza and bacon wrapped chicken.
I'm in.
Traditional fair foods are funnel cake, corn dogs, cotton candy, burgers, s'mores, lolly, a sweet and gooey dessert,
You don't need to
shakes, and
tell
other
us what
beverages.
traditional
Unique
food
and popular foods are Rick's Pickle Pizza, the winner of the Food Frenzy competition. Carrie's got the claw. He's got the claw. He's squeezing his head. He's going up. It's a body slam.
You can't go into an explanation of pickle pizza and then tell me the match that's going on.
Akbar got Kamala disqualified before that, by the way. Bacon wrapped chicken on a stick, another Food Frenzy winner, combining savory and sweet flavors. S'mores lolly, a unique twist on a campfire classic. Spicy bacon pops, a savory and spicy snack. Other notable foods: breakfast
All that
tacos,
sounds good.
fresh pork rinds,
Mhm.
tropical
Fresh.
snake bite lemonade, a winner of the lavish libration category in the Food Frenzy competition.
That means it's got vodka in it.
No bake cheesecake with rhubarb blueberry jam topping.
All right, I'm out on rhubarb.
Cotton
I'll
candy
eat
crunch soft serve ice cream.
No, nope. Cotton candy is disgusting.
So Rick's Pickle Pizza. I gotta admit, I would eat it.
Well, we're gonna try it when we're in Minot, North
It's
Dakota,
Minot.
July 25th.
My not. It is an Air Force base.
It'll be so much fun. Even Ronnie Millsap would have a good time.
Probably not why he's getting eaten by Jelly Roll, but
But he could see himself having
Watch
a
this.
good
See, that's
time
where
then.
Akbar got his pulled Carrie's foot, and this is pre-motorcycle accident, so the boot did not come off.
he sold the shit out of that. I'll
But
give him that.
it's not the boot you're worried about. It's the foot coming off you're worried about.
You know that the reason that people found out was because at the Showboat Casino, Colonel De Beers pulled the boot off.
Fucking
Yeah.
Colonel De Beers.
Colonel Beers a heel in real life.
I don't know how they haven't done a dark side of the ring on Colonel De Beers yet.
All right, so Carrie slammed him after the bell had rang. So Akbar is arguing that he doesn't get the 10,000.
Tremendous main events. You're going to see Terry Gordy and Buddy Ramos.
All right, so we're nearing the end of the first episode.
Yeah.
By the way, so
Oh man, I didn't even tell y'all about Kamala during this match. We were talking about the state fair. Born James Harris.
Sugar Bear Harris.
Sugar Bear Harris.
He was born in 1950 in Senatobia, Mississippi, which is about an
sounded
hour,
very
about an
African,
hour,
didn't
an
it?
hour and a half north
Sounds
of me.
African until you throw a Mississippi on the end of it.
He was a sharecropper. He was truck driver. Late 70s, he made his debut as Sugar Bear Harris. In 1982, Lawler and Jarrett came up with the Kamala gimmick. He was paid poorly. He dealt with a lot of racism and unfair contracts, and then lost both of his legs to diabetes, and he passed away in 2020. But it took his rightful place in the WWE Hall of Fame this year.
Are we starting this episode together?
We are now on to the second
It's
episode.
just automatically starting.
I think we should all start together because I stopped and I'm at 0.
Well,
Okay.
we're at 14, 15, 16.
I'm pausing at 14. Where are you at, Tim?
14. I'm pausing at 21.
Let's all go back to the beginning. Just
We're all
everybody
good.
go back to the beginning.
Everyone go back to zeros.
In 3, 2, 1, play.
Play. 4, 5.
Presented in
6,
the most complete
7,
form possible due to original production technical
Due
difficulties,
to
which means that Kevin
putting
kept them
this
in a metal
shit
building
together.
behind his house. And they were stored at the Sportatorium for years as well.
Can I get a timestamp? Darren, son of a bitch, we just started. God.
Even Ronnie Millsap can see where we're at.
– 2030. Where y'all at? 'Cause
What?
I screwed up.
2030. I'm at 41, 42, 43, 44.
All right.
So would you say here in 83, Pondwater, this is Is this the hottest world class has been?
Yes. Yeah, they heated it up last Christmas. In 83, they were on fire. Michael came out and tore up Mike's ring jacket that was presented to him by Kevin.
Some
But Mike
just
or
awful working punches.
but
Look at Michael Hayes throwing them live rounds on Mike, making it
Michael
look good.
Hayes has said
Whoa! Stage dive by Mike Von Erich.
Kurt Angle's here.
And look at them. They're
His
trying to take
claw
out
hand.
Kevin's. They're stacking the deck. They've attacked Mike. We know Michael Hayes lost the loser leave town match, so it's just down to Gordy and Roberts. Whoever gets pinned in this match has to leave Texas for a year. So we've got a very green Mike Von Erich that just had his first match at Thanksgiving. We've got, look, that's how. Notice how David Manning thought nothing of Sunshine being on the apron.
Yeah, why was she not disqualified?
But he got. Oh, we're getting Precious.
Oh, we just tried domestic violence here on the show. That's fun.
But yeah, that
They
last
didn't have
match,
that
that
in
last match, he
1983.
caught Akbar trip and carry, but he didn't see Sunshine grab Jimmy by the hair. But anyway, we've told a story that we've damaged Kevin's claw hand and Max Green. We know whoever gets pinned is going to have to leave Texas for a year.
Sunshine versus
they're hard to leave
Precious?
Dallas for a year.
If Chris Adams retains the title, Sunshine gets Precious for 5 minutes.
Ah,
I'd like to get Sunshine for 5 minutes.
now or
I mean,
And that's leaving me a couple minutes just to talk nice to her.
help her put the new bedding on the bed.
All right, here we got Black Gordman.
which, by the way, literally translates to black fat man.
And that's Jose Lothario. But Black Gordman was born Victor Manuel Barajas.
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 Yeah, that's it.
Barajas.
On October 5th of 1936. So that makes him 47 years old here.
Woo!
That's a hard
And how old
47.
was
That's a
Lothario?
hard 47.
He tag teamed with the Great Goliath. He was an NWA America's Tag Team Champion on 31 occasions.
What?
With 10 different partners. And he is credited as being the originator of the DDT that Jake Roberts uses.
So not Jake Roberts, it's Black Gordman.
Black Gordman was his move. The move that Jake Roberts made famous. Black Gordman was using it.
You know what's fun is I just noticed Jose Lothario's trunks, although they're the long leg variety, those are the Blackjack's trunks. Or
By
Outlaw
the
Ron
way,
Bass.
Jose
Oh,
Lothario, born December of 1934.
December
He's
12th,
49
1934, as Guadalupe Robulero. He started in the 1950s as Joe Garcia and El Gran Lothario.
El Grande Americana.
No, El Grande Lothario.
Gulf of America.
And his specialty has always been tape fist matches and brass knuckles titles.
His specialty's all been Dunlap disease.
He beat Gino Hernandez in 1978, a hair match.
Wait, D. Gino Hernandez?
Well,
Huh?
D. Gino Hernandez?
Yes.
When he was like, what, 13?
yeah.
Didn't Gino die in 87 when he was like 28?
In 1978, Gino was wrestling for Paul Bosch in the 70s.
By the way, here
He
in
started the territory with
1983
Sheik. He went up to Michigan with the Sheik and was that U.S. champion.
Hey, by the way, here in 1983, Jose Lothario is losing a hair versus hair match with Father Time.
He teamed with Mil Mascaras pretty regularly against Black Gordman and Goliath.
No, yeah.
He trained. He trained the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels.
I did know that.
Yeah, we did know that.
He
One of
was
the worst storylines in
NWA
WWF history.
He was the NWA World Tag Team Champions with Pepper Gomez, and that was in San Francisco.
What about Salty Gomez?
He's a 2-time Florida Tag Team Champion. He's a World Tag Team Champion 4 times in Florida with Eddie Graham
Yes.
and
Yes.
Sam Steamboat and
Also,
Wahoo. And
Most
Wahoo.
people just sit there and say things, but for the record, that's how talking occurs.
In the Gulf Coast, he was
Fake news.
he was a Caribbean champion 3 times.
The Caribbean champion.
NWA World Tag Team Champion 1 time in Amarillo.
Was he ever the Western Heritage States champion?
Was he there by morning?
He was not, but he was the NWA American Tag Team Champion on 6 occasions. He was the Texas Brass Knuckles Champion 5 times. He was the Texas Heavyweight Champion 7 times, the Texas Tag Team Champion 6 times, and the World Class Television Champion twice.
By the way, worst Santa Claus in history is out in the crowd.
Yeah,
It's not Christmas without Santa Claus, guys.
I'm sure that this ominous Santa Claus that is clearly in a fat suit just walking around is that won't come into play later.
Who's that ref?
That is
Brian Adias.
no, it's
It looks like him. It's his cousin Brian Adidas.
trying to think of his name. I don't know where he found that red jumpsuit at. Got it out of his peepaw. Let's got it out of his papa's closet.
Pondwater, the next time you're going to referee, the next time you referee, are you going to be in a red jumpsuit? I feel like
I can find one.
By the way, both my kids call my parents in-laws Meemaw and Peepaw. So you were right the first time.
I like some Meemaw and Peepaw. Gives a little southern flair to it.
Yeah. You know, I got to be honest. Like, I know Jose Lothario is 71 here, but he's
49 years old.
I know. I can see why I was sarcasm.
It's a hard 49 though, man.
But I was getting ready to compliment him, if you will let me. So I can see why when he was younger he was so over.
I mean, to be fair, in this match, he looks like the Ron Simmons of Mexico.
Hey, you see
that'd be El Dandy.
when they showed the ringside, when they showed the announcers at ringside, I want you to look. I'll see if be on alert when it goes to the outside. I want to tell you a story. And World Class had a huge Mexican fan base. Okay, you see the black guy on the right?
Yes.
That's the Texas State Athletic Commissioner.
Okay.
He shopped in our grocery store.
He's huge.
He shopped in our grocery store.
West Texas State.
And he had me and my brother, me and my little brother come down to the Sportatorium, and he got us in for free. And it was Weepaw. Thank you, Justin. Love you, buddy. But anyway, he got us in. We got to go in the back of the Sportatorium with him. I shook hands with David Von Erich that night, and a week later he died.
Oh.
Who, the sport guy?
No, David Von Erich.
You always tell, you have a way, you tell these stories and like I'm following intently, and then all of a sudden you're just like, and then he died, and you're just like, what?
I met David the Friday night before he died. I was there, and he won they ordered Michael Hayes to defend the All Asian title, so David won the belt and took it back to Japan.
Well, what I'm saying is, you tell these stories.
Apparently not, because David
and then
Japan with him, and
you just have an abrupt ending I did not see coming in almost all of your stories.
Yeah, David come walking in the back of the Sportatorium. He shook my hand. He was carrying a bottle of Wild Turkey.
Breaking news. Pondwater Dave killed David Perry.
It was a long flight to Japan.
I'm going to come up with that referee's name before the end of this because every time I see him, it's like I almost get it. Like, no.
Fun fact: it's actually a young Ray Trailer.
Old Red was what they called him.
Oh, red. He's even wearing red boots. Look at him.
The backslide, the same move that Kerry Von Erich's going to use to defeat Ric Flair in 1984.
Oh, kick to the dick.
Hang
We're
over.
still going.
Yeah.
The guy from Blues Traveler, the evil sheriff, just wandering around ringside right now, asking people if they want orange whips.
No,
There's Santa.
look, Santa Claus. Santa Claus gonna. Why are they wearing what?
Stop it. Stop it. Just stop.
Because
Stop it.
How racist is this crowd?
Well, I mean, I think
hey, how's it racist if the Mexicans wearing it?
yeah, I think he wore it on his own volition. I just don't want you to say what you think
It's
he's
Christmas and it was cold, man.
Bah.
How about the other guy in the jacket with the racing stripes on it?
wearing. I'm pretty sure I had that jacket at one point.
Eric, and this is a battle of
Mike Von Erich with that leather jacket like he likes it.
Von Erich's a bit off more than we can chew. They think that Mike's too young to be getting in the ring with seasoned veterans like.
He's
Terry
also
and
not
Brady
good
and
enough
Jones.
to get in the ring
Well,
with
let me
us.
tell you this: Mike is a chip off the old block. He's just like my dad, and he's full of fire and brimstone. And boy, when we get in that ring, this guy's not going to let me down, folks. A lot of people got a lot of questions about Mike. Let me tell you right now, this kid is not going to let me down. We're going to take those free words and we're going to send Terry Gordy back to Atlanta. We're going to send him right there.
Please put the
Back to
mic.
Atlanta,
on,
Georgia.
guys.
Yeah. And I think Mike just said, yeah.
Right. That's the only word he spoke. Right.
Look, Buddy Roberts.
That is not real hair. Is
No,
that a
he's been
mop?
wearing that. He's been wearing that wig under the headgear.
Is that a mop head?
He has recently gone on a cruise to the Bahamas.
Not.
Show of hands, who had members only jackets like that?
That's not.
Man, I had them. I had
Love
like
them.
I had them in like 5 different colors. I'd wear my members only jacket with the matching knit tie. You remember the knit material ties?
Yes.
Yeah, I know Darren Staley had them.
Pondwater, I was born 16 months after the show was over.
Oh, there he is. He's showing you that we're not wearing the headgear anymore. My hair's grown back.
Oh, he turned into Pat Patterson. That's weird.
And his teeth look the same color as his hair.
Oh. Rude.
I got a fond memory about a members only jacket.
I'm sure you do.
Can't tell it on this show.
Oh.
Next time we're drinking, y'all tell me to tell you the members only story.
Little did we know, TJ, there actually was a club for members only.
While we do this ring intro, I had this thought that, I wonder what the world of sports looked like here in December of '83.
Step into the past with your game face on. Box score trivia where legends are born. Who scored the goals and who made the play? Get ready to guess every single day. Box score trivia, bringing the heat from the courts and fields to every athlete's feet. Test your knowledge and show you the best in this game of history. There's no time to rest.
I'm actually excited for this one. I think Pondwater might actually do all right since it's 1983, because I watch him type with 2 fingers off on the side of the monitor right now. So we're in December of '83, so we're going to do 1983 NFL league leaders, and we're going to start with passing touchdown leaders. How many do you think you can get out of 10?
In 83?
In
Dan
83.
Marino.
No, I can get one.
Was drafted in '84.
I think he was doing good at Pitt. He could have.
Danny White.
Danny White was tied for second with 29.
Joe Montana.
Tied for fourth with 26.
Steve DeBerg.
Actually, not a terrible guess, but no.
Let's see.
Joe Theismann.
Ian Anderson.
Joe Theismann tied for second with 29. Ken Anderson, no.
Steve
What was the
Largent.
guy from San Diego?
Dan Fouts.
Yes.
Well, you know the rule on the show. If I give you the answer, it's probably a no, and that one's a no.
Was Steve Largent on there?
He was a wide receiver.
Oh.
Steve DeBerg would have been a better option. Bernie Kosar wasn't there yet.
He was not. I believe Bernie Kosar was 84.
Yeah.
Warren Moon,
No, Warren Moon might have still been in college here in 83.
Dan Pastorini.
Or in the CFL.
Or in the CFL. Dan Pastorini, no.
Phil Simms.
I'm trying to
No.
think who the quarterback for Houston was before Warren Moon.
Well, they are not on the list, so go ahead and stop that.
Okay.
I'm going to be honest with you. The rest of this list is not
Franz
easy.
Harkington.
No. The rest of this list is not easy.
Give us teams.
The Rams,
Bernie Kosar.
no. The Atlanta Falcons, the St. Louis Cardinals, Kansas City, Cleveland, Buffalo, and your league leader was from Green Bay. And it's not Matchkowski.
Green Bay.
Yes. It's before Matchkowski.
Yeah.
And Justin Davis, you're thinking of Jim Zorn, and he's not on the list either.
No, Steve DeBerg was also for the Seahawks.
Was he?
Yeah.
Are
I
you,
got
are you
more
sure
of them
not,
than I thought I would get.
are you sure you're not thinking of Dave Craig?
Yeah.
Darren Staley pulls up Bart Starr. No, it is not Bart Starr.
All right. Yeah. No. Let's keep
All right.
going.
Tied for ninth of the I almost said Atlanta Rams.
Atlanta Rams.
Falcons.
That'd be weird.
Steve Bartkowski and Vince Ferragamo of the Rams. Tied for seventh of the Chiefs, Bill Kenny, and of the St. Louis Cardinals, Leo Nomax. Tied for fourth with Joe Montana, Joe Ferguson of the Bills, and Brian Sipe of the Cleveland Browns. And your league leader with the Green Bay Packers with 32 touchdowns, Lynn Dickey. Okay, I love the banter in between.
I don't know any of those guys.
Let's go to rushing touchdown leaders. If you get 4, I'll be impressed.
Herschel Walker.
Herschel Walker, no.
Tony Dorsett.
No.
Roger Craig.
No.
Marcus Allen.
Marcus Allen was tied for 10th with 9. There is an Oiler on this list.
Lorenzo Neal.
No.
White Shoes Jones.
There's also, you mean White Shoes Johnson?
Yeah, whatever.
No, and he was also a wide receiver. There's also a Cincinnati Bengal on this list, Tim.
In 83?
In 83.
Brooks wasn't with us.
He was third.
But he was a Buck then, right?
Who?
James
Look at-
Brooks?
No, the person was on the Rams in 83.
Oh.
Max working that headlock on
Eric,
Robert.
no, Dickerson wasn't around yet.
Eric Dickerson second with 18.
Oh.
Hey guys, you think that from the results I read that Buddy Roberts and Mike are doing a lot of what they were doing on the circuit?
Yes. They probably were doing this match.
But if you look at how Mike is working the headlock and how Buddy is selling the headlock, a headlock spot can still work. If you're working it right, if you're working that headlock like you're squeezing with all you got, and the guy that you got it on is selling like it's about to pop his head, there's a hidden gem on the network that Harley Race and Bob Backlund. I'm guaranteed the first 15 minutes of it is a headlock match, and they're telling a story.
Also, this is what does Bruce talk about? The creative or quality control, letting Mike Von Erich come out dressed as a Freebird.
Well, he doesn't have the Confederacy on his tights.
Hey, I'm a little disappointed that I gave you the Houston Oilers hint, and you haven't gotten it yet.
I hated the Houston Oilers.
Even more reason why you should know who it is.
I
There's-
said
I was,
there's
in
a-
1983,
watch
I was very much a Dallas Cowboys and hated everybody else fan.
But actually, you know what? That checks out for Cowboys fans. That makes sense.
What's the guy from Zonka?
Larry Zonka, pretty sure retired.
Oh,
in
Earl Campbell.
1975.
Justin's got it. Justin's
Earl
got it.
Campbell tied for 5th with 12.
Makes a hell of a hot link.
What's the guy from the Redskins?
Diesel.
Yeah. What's his name?
I'm not telling you. That's your job.
Is he on the list? I'm guessing.
He's the league leader by a lot.
What's his name? Pondwater. You're watching football back then. The
Well,
guy from the
apparently
Redskins.
He watched the Cowboys and
The
burned
Redskins?
the posters of everyone else.
Yeah.
So
I
Hall
hated
of
the
Fame
Redskins.
running back.
Oh, that was
Darren Staley just listing players now.
from the
Ronnie Lott
Redskins.
was a safety.
Rod Woodson. Sean
Oh,
Ledbetter.
what's his name? It's not Art Monk.
That's correct. You're
We'll
right.
get
It's
to
not
that
even
receiving
close.
later. What was his name?
I'm ashamed right now.
Okay. What's his name?
John Riggins.
Oh,
Yeah.
I hated that so much too.
Jeez.
But not like Joe Theismann. Not like Joe Theismann, because I'll tell you what, I don't know what that guy's name that played for the Raiders that snapped his leg was.
It was actually Lawrence Taylor.
No, wait, there was an incident with the Raiders where a
No,
Raiders
it
player
was
got
Lawrence
hurt that
Taylor
bad.
that
Listen to
snapped
me.
his leg, I'm pretty sure.
No, Lawrence Taylor did it to Joe Theismann because I've
Yeah.
seen it many times and I enjoy it.
Wow.
I did not like seeing it happen to the guy that played for the Raiders. You know, Joe Theismann, I got kicked off of a radio station in Dallas, Texas on a call-in.
First time calling, a long time listener.
You know what?
Uh,
Seeing as how you're I love the Cowboys. I hate everyone else.
Well, Lawrence
Joe
Taylor.
Theismann's on the other side of the horn. I guarantee you, I can almost give you that conversation.
No. Joe Theismann was on ESPN radio the first weekend it was broadcast in Dallas. And he was on one night. I'm listening on my way home from work. And he was running Troy Aikman down because Troy Aikman had added to his face mask because Troy Aikman was having problems getting fingers in the eyes. And he'd added another layer to his face mask.
Mm-hmm.
And he called him and said, you know what? I didn't play like those sissy Cowboys. I only just had the one bar on my helmet.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay. Fast forward to Monday, Joe Theismann is a guest on Dallas Sports Radio, The Ticket. And he's kissing Troy Aikman's ass up one side, down the other. And I just called in and said, hey, you were with your little ESPN boys the other night talking about they were all sissy Cowboys. And you were a true man because you only had one bar, one little thing on your face, ma'am. And I'm here to tell you that I think you're a fucking pussy.
Oh, I can see
Click.
why you got kicked off. I can see why you got kicked off the show. That makes sense.
Felt good, though. I hate Joe Theismann.
You said two words back to back. You said two words back to back. You can't say on the radio.
Yeah. I may not
Also-
I may not have dropped the F-bomb, but I did call him a pussy.
Joe Theismann, University of Notre Dame legend.
Well, I mean, it just made me mad. If you're going to talk all your trash with your boys on ESPN on Saturday night, be a man and do it while you're on sports radio on Monday morning.
Well, it's good to know that that was going on back then. It's not a current phenomenon because it happens all the time now.
Did you see Kevin just bounce up to the top rope and miss
I
the
did.
flying body press?
By the way, the other names on this rushing touchdown league leader list: Wayne Wilson, Mike Pruitt, Tony Collins, Ted Brown, Chuck Muncie, Kurt Warner, the other one, Pete Johnson, and Cincinnati Bengals legend Pete Johnson was third.
Miss Ginger
Pete
got
White Juice
on Joe
Johnson.
Theismann.
Exactly what?
She's backing me up on what I just said about Joe
Who is
Theismann.
Ginger Griffin?
She's the biggest BIW fan in the world. She's actually, I've actually got two posters in the other room that says member of the Dave Miller fan club. So that's our biggest supporter of BIW. She'll travel all over Mississippi, Arkansas, and Louisiana to go watch our wrestling shows.
You know, I would travel all over the world to go watch University of Notre Dame legend Joe Theismann play football.
By the way, Minot, North Dakota. July
Minot.
25th.
Over the top rope.
By the way,
Buddy just threw
Pondwater,
Mac over the top rope.
Pondwater, if you could just put your hatred aside for a second, do you find it hard to believe that Joe Theismann's not in the Hall of Fame?
Oh wow, what's going on over there?
They're not even listening to me anymore.
Look at the crowd. I was there, and I think the crowd tried to attack Santa Claus.
They definitely try to attack Santa Claus.
Honestly, I'm shocked that Joe Theismann's not in the Hall of Fame.
Not
I
really.
found
Ken Anderson can't get in. Joe Theismann shouldn't be there.
What did Ken Anderson win? And Ken Anderson was in a shit division.
Ken Anderson was a 2-time MVP, went to the Super Bowl.
Mike Von
And-
Erich with the drop kick on Kevin.
Which
Nobody's
Joe
going to make the
Theismann
count.
Other than get his leg fucking broken.
He went to the
Broncos
Super
down.
Bowl and
What?
got
Everyone
murdered.
loses to the 49ers.
Hey, we're working up to a convoluted finish here.
I thought we already had it.
Yeah, just now.
Now, David Manning made it in to make the 3 count. Bronco Lubitsch is the official.
Did they ref bump Bronco Lubitsch?
And there's Santa Claus.
There's Santa
Santa
Claus
gonna-
celebrating the Von Erichs win.
Is Bronco Lubitsch dead?
Ew, no, Mike Von Erich's going to get his ass whooped by Santa Claus.
What's up, Michael?
Michael, you're not supposed to be in the state of Texas.
Got to give it to him. That's a good angle.
And goddamn, he's laying that in.
Good pile driver.
Nope, got one back out. Michael can't decide. Names, I'm out of here.
Well, he was there. Just so you
So
know.
Broncos over here arguing with David Manning because Broncos in charge.
That wasn't Michael Hayes. That was Santa.
Carries out to check on Mac. So the Freebirds think they've won this.
I love that. I love the thought of, oh, Mike got punched a few times. I need to run to his rescue.
So David Manning is explaining. The Freebirds think they've won.
Which, by the way, celebrating bigger than any win they've ever had.
Well, the loser's leaving Texas. So now David Manning's explaining. And the crowd already knows that how Bronco leans.
Yeah, barely.
Look at him throwing
Take
the beer. So Terry Gordy has to leave the state of Texas for a year. That just leaves Buddy Roberts by himself.
So let me get this straight. They've gotten rid of the two
And they got the
Freebirds
belts
that
off for the Freebirds.
are entertaining.
Because Ric Flair lost. That's Skip Young with the headband around on it. Sweet brown sugar. My friend Skip Young.
Of course.
My
But
dear close personal friend. So obviously they don't leave.
no, they
They're
leave
not-
for about a month.
So where did they go anywhere in between, or they just take a month off?
Well, I believe the story goes that they stole the 6-mans from Von Erichs in a title defense in Georgia.
Mm.
So for the Von Erichs to get a rematch, they had to come to Texas, and if they could win, they could be reinstated.
So they probably did a handful of shots in Georgia then.
I don't know if they ever did or if that was all kayfabe, but
Georgia or Florida won.
well, no, I know Michael Hayes went to Japan in January because he brought the belt back for David to take back in February.
Mm.
So Michael was doing shot in Japan. Terry probably did too.
That makes sense too.
So now we're going to have the American Heavyweight Championship match between Chris Adams and the new champion, Chris Adams, against Gino Hernandez. And Chris is explaining that, you know, he's got a lot on him now because he's the champion. But if he can win, Sunshine's going to get Precious for 5 minutes.
And as we now know, Timmy won Sunshine for 5 minutes. Current day.
Fun fact about Buddy Roberts. Who do you think trained Buddy Roberts?
Where's he from?
He's born in Vancouver.
Vancouver, Canada, West Coast.
But he made his debut in 1965. And I'll give you a hint. The man was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame this year.
Kamala.
No.
Oh, Bill Eadie?
No.
Well, no, that wasn't Bill Eadie. It was the Natural Disasters. I got nothing.
Ivan Koloff trained Buddy Roberts.
Ah.
By the way, I do believe that Precious is slightly hotter than Sunshine,
No,
No.
you're wrong.
Not
But-
even
You're
close.
wrong. You're wrong.
but
ain't
not
even close.
nearly as charismatic.
Not nearly as hot either.
I mean, you're right on the second half. The first part could not be more wrong.
You're an idiot.
I mean, it's 2-on-1. Both of us said that.
Okay,
It's just you.
I'm
Must
right.
be Kane.
It's okay.
Must be Kane Tuck. Also, you probably thought she was hotter because it's Jimmy Garvin's cousin.
No, Precious is his wife.
Now,
Oh,
the
Sunshine
first
is
Precious.
cousin?
Sunshine is his cousin.
Now, the first Precious, you might be onto something.
I believe is this the belt that's on its way to my house right now?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Sure, my wife. would
Fred
be
Sinclair is your referee. That's
I'm sure
Fred
my-
Sinclair. I knew I'd eventually get it.
Sure, my wife will be thrilled when that box shows up for belt number 7.
Yeah, gorgeous Jimmy Garvin, born James Williams, September 25th of 1952, was 31 years of age here.
I was disappointed because you have this image of Chris Adams. I think everyone does, and then to find out he's just a giant dirtbag in real life is heartbreaking.
Yeah, demons got the better of him.
And then Jimmy Garvin is this giant dirtbag on the show, and he could not be a sweeter human being
Yeah.
in real life.
Jimmy Garvin made his debut in 1968 at 16 years of age as Bo James.
Was that in Memphis?
Don't know.
Because I've got Cornette's book on Memphis.
But they put him with Terry and Ron Garvin and made them kayfabe brothers.
I think it's Memphis.
And he managed the Terry Garvin and Ron Garvin.
To be fair, Ron Garvin is actually his uncle.
No, it's his stepfather.
I thought it was his uncle.
No, it's his stepfather.
So yeah, I believe he debuted in Memphis.
He was he spent a lot of time in Florida. He was the Florida Global Tag Team Champion with Big John Studd.
Whoa.
He won the Southern Championship from Sweet Brown Sugar, Skip Young. And J.J. Dillon presents him with the original Precious as his first valet. And the story would go that Precious was such a distraction because he was always trying to impress her. He kept losing matches. So he fired her and replaced her with Sunshine, who's his cousin, because Precious number 1 was causing real problems for him at home.
Oh. I'm guessing Real Precious number 1 was not his wife.
No, Real Precious number 1 was
It's my wife.
I don't know who
Okay.
she was, but J.J. Dillon presented her to him, and Like I said, the whole storyline was she was a distraction, but it obviously caused him some problems at the house.
Which is a weird
So-
sentence to say out loud.
So, hey, I'm gonna get my cousin then because it'll be cool.
Give me a cousin.
I remember like a decade, like 12 years ago, I interviewed JJ Dillon, and it was a 3.5 hour interview because JJ, and here's the thing, like I was trying to do in chronological order, but JJ loves to talk so much. We got to 1989.
Yeah.
And but the one thing that always kind of struck me about JJ is obviously you want to talk about his management career because it was extraordinary. But the one thing he always went back to was, I've wrestled over 9,000 matches in my career. And in 1984, I wrestled Tito Santana in the Garden for the Intercontinental title.
Yeah.
He's
He
a
would
wrestler.
he told me about it. He told me about Andre the Giant coming to Australia, and they busted him open on night one, and they had to stuff paper towels in the air because he got hit in the marketplace when they started throwing stuff, but they worked him for the whole week around the loop of him trying to get even from being busted open. But he would talk about that, and then he talked about wrestling Joe Blanchard and San Marcos, and they wrestled out of the arena door, across the highway onto the beach. And he said it was the coolest thing because as he pinned Joe Blanchard, as the referee's hand was coming down for 3, the weight hit him.
Oh,
I spent a night sitting out in the lobby of the hotel talking to JJ, me and Hurricane Helms, Luke Cox. We had the best time just sitting there listening to JJ tell stories. He ran out of wrestling stories and was telling us how to get hot French fries at McDonald's every
nice.
time. You had to order them special. You had to order them some special so they'd make them.
They're gonna keep selling.
You order them unsalted. You'd order them unsalted, and then when they got them to you, you'd just put some salt on them.
Those are lies.
If they keep showing sunshine on the camera, I'm gonna turn my camera off for a couple seconds.
Man. Have I ever told you the time I met her unexpectedly?
No.
I went to my sister-in-law's apartment. We went to buy my sister-in-law's apartment. And she opens the door and there sits Sunshine on her couch. She lived in the same apartments with the wrestlers. You'll hear the grappler tell stories about playing quarters and not having the Texas belt when he got to work because the woman that beat him at quarters thought she really got to keep the belt. And that was my sister-in-law. I'd heard the story from the other side.
Nice.
But I walked in there and saw Sunshine, and I mean, I was starstruck. Like, I mean, she said, "Hi, I'm Val." She was smoking a Virginia Slim.
I said I'm harder. I'm harder than the Rock of Gibraltar.
She's like, no, that fat dick lost. It's my belt now. I don't know what to tell. I
Yeah,
have to come get it back.
but I had the grappler tell me that story, and I finished the story, and he knew I knew what I was talking about. Jimmy Garvin with 2 handfuls of tights has defeated Chris Adams.
With one cheek out now.
But Sunshine's like, no, this is bullshit. He had the tights. Fred Sinclair's not having any of it. Sunshine is really upset because she wants his 5 minutes with Precious.
Just do it now.
Right there.
No,
She's
Precious.
right there.
Look at Precious got. She got froggy.
Oh, see. Now you done did it.
Oh. But Sunshine's wearing that leather vest she got at Trader's Village in Grand Prairie. She's trying to rip her shirt off.
She's not doing it very well. I mean, she's
I know.
getting there.
Me and my brother pointed that out.
Really, all she did was stretch the collar.
Sunshine was so good.
It was his shirt's fault.
And so Jimmy Garvin, 1 month later, regains his American Heavyweight Championship.
He's gonna kick the shit out of the referee here in a second. Be great if you grab the mic, man. I'm kicking someone's ass tonight.
How much do you pay for that one?
What, to get your ass kicked by Sunshine? I'd give about $350.
I gave him $1.
Well, of course that Master Devil League. You gave it all.
Come here, Flaps.
Almost through episode 2 here.
All right, we're just going to let this continue to roll, everybody. Just let it roll into the next episode.
Let's
Right
do a
on
time
her
check.
ass. Yes.
It's going to be 2 minutes and 12 seconds into the show when David Von Erich and Ric Flair starts.
Let's do a time check now. That way, when we roll into the next show, we should be close.
We are at 41, 52, 53, 54.
Me and Timmy are lockstep.
I'm at 41, 59, 42.
What?
We are also lockstep. We're all together. Look at that.
So Mercer's
Let's go.
closing up. Lights
Look,
are
is
on.
this where the Mavericks played?
Yes.
Shocking.
The Mavericks, then the Dallas Stars got there in 93.
The Seattle Seahawks played
Yeah.
here.
The Dallas Sidekicks indoor soccer team played there.
It's
a clever
soccer
name
in
for his-
Texas.
Indoor
That's a-
soccer.
That's a clever name for a soccer team. I have to give it to him.
Yep. Our star player's name was Tattoo.
Was
They're
it the guy
playing.
from?
They're playing.
Was it guy? So was it the guy from 007?
No.
It's Fantasy Island.
Well, I'm thinking of Odd Job. Never mind.
I think that Fred Sinclair did a great job as a referee there, is keeping his eyes down at the shoulders and not noticing. He didn't have his head up where you could think that he saw the trunks.
He was really good as tugboat too. Not as good as the Shockmaster.
Well, I mean, how can you top that?
Mercer had to shave off that flavor saver.
You can still see the hint. You can still see
By
the
the way,
shadow of it, though.
Mercer, not a wrestler, right?
No.
Right.
Then why does he have the tracks on his forehead?
Did you get
like
that,
he's been
that?
blading?
Did you watch that clip of Jimmy Garvin? I mean, of Jake Roberts with Mercer calling the action that I sent you,
Mhm.
and he didn't call it a DDT. He called it like a
Oh yeah, he called it a what?
Slammed his head into the mat.
yeah. He didn't even call it a DDT, and it was the DDT.
Inverted front face lock or something.
Yeah,
like that.
something like that. And it was like that was his signature move. Mercer was not even close. All right, we're rolling the credits. Executive producer Mickey Grant, producer Keith Mitchell, those director Dan Bynum, former guest on my show.
Oh,
Okay, here we go.
Hey, babe, I got another one for you.
Here's the entrance. Are we all together? Boom, 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 boom.
Who was talking?
no one's talking.
I heard someone talking.
Are we not allowed to do that on this show?
No,
that was at your
someone
house.
that was not one of us.
That wasn't Sarah?
No, Sarah's not here. Thought it was Tep.
My wife sent me an Instagram and I forgot to turn my phone down first.
Oh, okay.
Oh. All right, we're from the Sportatorium, but we're going to go back and we're going to get to see the Ric Flair David Von Erich match. It's going to take 2 minutes in. I mean, but we're not doing anything. We can watch this episode. Because we're going to get the missing link. Probably against Kerry Von Erich. If this is the match I'm thinking about, the missing link beats Kerry's ass. I mean, he gets that headbutt going.
Ric Flair
David is
only-
sporting the yellow trunks with the blue stripe.
Ric
Not
Flair
the
also
ones hanging in your
I don't have those.
Ric Flair only 47 years old here at this show too, which is interesting.
lies.
Looks great.
In all seriousness, how old was Flair there? And his
He would have been like 32, 31 here. Let's see. When WCW folded in 2001, he was 52. And that was 18 years. So he's 34, 33, 34 years old here. I don't think they really needed to put this massive a headset on Bo Mercer when he's not near the crowd.
He was near the crowd. That was at the very top of one of the sections.
Oh.
It was like if you went up where the ramp that the bad guys came down. All right, looks like we're joining this match in progress.
Because they've been wrestling for 48 minutes.
You know, it is interesting that Flair seems to, he's been on quite a few of these, you know, Night of the Champions or Star Wars shows for Dallas over the years. And it's curious that Jim Crockett would not want him on Christmas night. That's odd.
I'm not sure that he didn't make a double shot.
I hadn't considered that.
And contractual obligations.
I'm going to look at Cage. I'll look at Cage match when this match is over and see if Rick did a double shot on Christmas of 83. Because we got him Christmas of 84 too. I believe Kerry got a rematch on Christmas of 84.
So this is the first time I've seen a David Von Erich match of any length. I've heard all the stories, but I haven't actually seen it. So I'm looking forward to this.
Well, you're probably not getting much of it.
I want to say that I've seen this match bell to bell.
Well, you said you were here, weren't you?
I was there, yeah.
Well, there you go. Unless you were dropping a sewer pickle during this match, you saw all of it.
Oh, I didn't miss any of this. I knew this was David's night.
When you're in Texas, every night is a Von Erich's night.
Look at Flair powering David down, powering the shoulders down. Put that arm under his neck and started rolling his shoulders to the ground.
So that's how you do it in real wrestling.
I'm telling you, it looks like a struggle.
That's shooting the half.
Listen to that crowd.
Do you have an attendance number for this show?
7.
There's definitely more than 7.
There's about 18,000. It's like, I think the official attendance for the first one I went to was 18,300 and something. Reunion was set up for 19,000 for wrestling and it was selling it out. It was hard. It was a hard ticket to get up until they pulled out of the NWA. The first year that Flair wasn't there was like 6,000 there.
I have 19,675 people here at this show.
I believe it.
That is a lot for a territory.
I might be able to tell you exactly. I may have that. I may have that page of Fritz's day planner.
But you know, when Mid-South would do their Superdome show, they'd crush this. So really, at this point, it's Crockett.
Yeah, they used to do like 20,000 there
at the Superdome.
Yeah.
No, I think Junkyard and Michael Hayes was like 40. But you got Mid-South, you got Jim Crockett, you got, I mean, obviously WWF, you've got World Class, and Memphis on the, if they got the right feud for Mid-South Coliseum, Memphis could throw out 22. but
Yeah.
those are your big time territories right now in '83. Actually, I believe if I remember correctly, the revenue record for Mid-South in the Superdome was Bill Watts' return against the Midnight Express. What year would that have been? 85?
Yeah.
What was that? The Last Stampede, I think it was called.
I'm looking. The gate for this show was $170,092.
Wow.
So it was July 4th, 84. Bill Watts and Stagger Lee against the Midnight Express, and they drew 23,000 to the Superdome. I know for a fact Michael Hayes and Junkyard Dog did more than that in 80.
Yeah, this doesn't have a. This doesn't have an official count, just it has the money. The next night in Fort Worth, they drew $18,041.
So for the Superdome show in 80, August 2nd, 1980, they drew 28,000 people. And Junkyard Dog beat Michael Hayes in the main event in a steel cage dog collar match. Your semi-main was Dusty Rhodes and Buck Robley beat Buddy Roberts and Terry Gordy in a double bull rope match that lasted 5 whole minutes.
All right, high knee by David. Flair's down 1, 2, kicked out. Ginger said she watched Bill Watts' last Stampede matches at the Monroe Civic Center.
You know, it's really weird. Again, I made the joke, but it's not a joke. I was born 16 months after this show.
1, 2, Flair kicks out. This is where you want to start watching TJ, because Flair thinks start getting desperate.
I've been very grateful, very lucky in my life to go to a lot of big time shows. I went to WrestleMania 19.
Over the top rope. And Flair's
that's the finish?
No, David Manning's just standing there looking at Flair because he knows that Flair threw him over the top rope on purpose.
Okay.
But now he's making the count, and Flair's like, no, disqualify me. I threw him over the top rope. And David Manning says, I'm not doing it. And he's administering the 20 count. He's telling David it's not over.
But go ahead, Dave. I'm sorry.
We've seen Bronco screw him. We've seen
Flair
by hook or by crook. And Flair throws him over the top rope to try to get that intentional disqualification. And David Manning's not having it.
I would say my biggest, I don't know if regret's the right word, but it saddens me that I was not alive to witness the territory days. Because these crowds look like they're having a riot. Not say I didn't have fun.
We weren't on cell phones. We weren't picking it apart.
Exactly.
We were just into every bit of action. We were emotionally invested. We were outraged. We were throwing drinks. We were shooting fingers.
Oh, got the claw.
Got the claw. He's got the claw.
Or in your case, Pondwater, shooting faces.
It's true.
Yeah, I just saw Pondwater. The guy in the green suit, he's got a white hat on. It's Pondwater.
He's a leprechaun.
That old man's at ringside all the time.
Just
and he wore the suit. He wore the suit at for Christmas.
Right there, see him?
But do you know that old man actually did die at an event? Had a heart attack at the wrestling match.
We had this discussion last episode.
TJ has it.
He died a happy man.
He did. He went like he wanted to go. Willie Thornbrew, we're on World Class Season 3, Episode 2.
No, this is episode 3, homie.
No, it's Episode 2 of Season 3.
Oh, I got you.
Now, Flair reached out there and got
Hit him with the hammer.
hit him with the hammer, the ring hammer.
The ring hammer. I will say, I went
He
to
wants to be his sledgehammer.
Bell Hammer. I went to the first house show for WWE in the Hammond Civic Center in Hammond, Indiana. For the first time, it was like the first time in like 35 years they'd done a house show in Hammond.
Oh, wow.
And that was probably the closest I would say it got to this because it'd been so long since they had a house show. That was like 2010.
David Von Erich's your winner by disqualification.
Belt does not change hands.
So, to give you a little Ric Flair, David Von Erich, what happens from here is Flair says David's not getting any more. He don't want no more David Von Erich. And Flair cuts a promo bad-mouthing Mike Von Erich. And David tells him, because he talks about he beat Mike, how quick he could beat Mike. And David said, well, I'll tell you what, if you can beat him, if Mike can go 10 minutes with you or beat you, which I think he can, I get a title shot and I get to pick the time, the date, and the stipulations. And if you beat Mike, I'll never challenge you for the world title again. So Flair and Mike in January are going to have a 10-minute match. It's going to go to a 10 time limit draw. Ric Flair made Mike Von Erich look like $1 million damn.
Bet.
And David was going to get his match. And then he died in February. He died February 10th. So the Texas Stadium in May was supposed to be David's. But that was such a good match. And the story that Flair told and got desperate trying to get the disqualification.
It was good.
And David Manning wasn't going to do it. And the stipulation, of course, would be if there was a disqualification, the title could change hands.
Timmy had to pee.
Huh. We're going to ride this out, or we're going to wrap it up?
I love that we went from freeze frame to freeze frame of Bill Mercer. Just him in a different suit.
We're going to get Miss Ginger on one night to hear about all the old wrestling that she went and watched.
I mean, we're sitting around, we're hanging out with friends. We got a half hour. I think we can hang out for a half hour.
Yeah, Buddy Roberts is sitting there with his. He's got a 6-man trophy, but he don't have nobody to defend it with.
Apparently, Timmy left the whole show, which is interesting.
And we did one in the state of Georgia where things would not be prejudiced against us, may I say.
So you had friends there who also.
Oh, he's definitely Canadian. He said against.
But claw is banned for every wrestler in Georgia, as it was banned for the Von Erichs to use.
Well, the claw should be barred and banned in every state, in every country in the world.
But it's not.
But it's not. But it was barred in this match, and we did not need any help from anybody else to win our belts back. We won on strictly class.
I see that you lost the 6-man.
So he went to. They went to Georgia for the rematch, and Von Erichs can't use the claw in Georgia, even though the spoiler was there. And but that's the story, and so now Buddy Roberts is back with the 6-man trophy, and they're going to have another Star Wars event. They're going to have the Star Wars event in Fort Worth.
It would when
in January.
That seems like it's too soon.
Well, it's not in Dallas; it's in Fort Worth.
Oh yeah, I guess.
Yeah, it'll be at Tarrant County Convention Center.
Also, I never realized this. I think that might have been the first time I've heard Buddy Roberts speak. And the idea
without yelling.
Well, yeah, for sure. But the idea of having, the fabulous Freebirds, these three guys from Bad Street, Georgia, Bad Street, Atlanta, GA, and they're, just Southern good old boys. And then you hear Buddy Roberts say against, and he's definitely Canadian.
Yeah, Michael was born in Pensacola.
No,
Michael was born in Philadelphia.
Yeah, yes, you're right. He's a Yankee technically.
Michael's in Philadelphia. Terry Gordy.
I think Gordy was from Tennessee,
because he started down here in Port Gibson, which is like 30 minutes from where I live.
But they could pull off like the jargon and the speak though. Against, like, that's really hard to.
Yeah,
it's really hard to cover up.
Well, when Buddy started, they brought him in as a brother for Johnny Valentine.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was Del Valentine. You can find him in all these results as Del Valentine. And then he was the original Hollywood Blondes with Jerry Brown.
Oh.
He did the Hollywood Blondes gimmick for a long time.
I think I didn't know that. I think Michael Hayes talked about it in a WWE show before.
Yeah.
They're talking about.
I thought he did it with Ken Tibbs also, but I didn't find it in my research that he did it with Ken Tibbs, but I could have swore he did. But he definitely did it with Jerry Brown.
I would say probably the most underrated show the WWE ever did. And it was so good. I'm not even sure you could bring it back and I would love them to try. I'm not sure if you could. It was called Legends of Wrestling. It was like it's a phenomenal show. Yes. It's the best show they've ever done. And I think Michael Hayes, they were doing a best tag teams. And I think Michael Hayes talked about Buddy Roberts in the Hollywood Blondes.
Yeah, they did the tables for three. And I mean, they did that and then they went to table for three. And I didn't really, those were entertaining too, but man, those Legends roundtables that was on the WWE 24/7 platform.
Yes. Well, it was just great because it was literally just them sitting around smoking cigars, or in Pat Patterson's case, smoking a cigarette, and just talking shit. Like, it was phenomenal. I don't know why they ever stopped doing that show.
Conrad had done an interview with somebody that directed those and said that they would just get so drunk filming those.
Go on. I need to hear the negative in that.
Yeah. We were getting plenty of gold out of it.
I mean,
this is an extended sit down with the Freebirds here.
Because you never know when the Freebirds are going to show up, because there's only three of us. We can't be imitated. We can't be duplicated.
All right, Michael. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
The fact that there's like 4 hours of that show where I can hear Dusty Rhodes, and in one of those shows, they actually go over the demise of the Shockmaster. Uncle Fred.
Yeah. Yeah, those were always fun.
I mean, there wasn't one of those I didn't like. They were all good.
That was a good pile driver.
That was a phenomenal pile driver.
I mean, Mike's taking pile drivers 30 days into the business.
Welcome in.
All right, we got Buddy Roberts in the ring. We done started it. We're gonna finish it.
Because what was Pat Patterson and Ray Stevens' tag team? Was that the Suicide Blondes?
No, they were the
I mean, everyone knows them now as Patterson and Stevens, but they had a name.
Let me see. Patterson and Stevens. I'll ask.
Oh, yeah. Mantell's out here again. Oh, wait.
They were the Blonde Bombers.
Blonde. Thank you. I've just realized this is not Reunion Arena. This is the Sportatorium. So it's not.
Yeah, we're back at the Sportatorium now. This is the TV taping after Christmas.
Gotcha. Now,
they just couldn't work. They didn't show the entire David Flair match. The entire David and Flair match was
For probably 44 minutes.
23 minutes and 48 seconds.
That seems short for.
And
a
it was
match.
early in the show. It was really early in the show, and so that's why I'm thinking maybe Flair got on a plane and.
But what's fun is we just saw a bunch of people like in Parker's at the Reunion Arena show.
Yeah.
And it's now we're in the Sportatorium around Christmas. You know it's cold in there because they keep showing the wall. And folks, that's the exterior wall. That is the outside to the outside world. There's no insulation. It's just steel. It's got to be colder shit in there. Then again, with that many people in a tight space, you might actually be okay. But it probably still would not be enjoyable. And this is coming from a guy that was in northern Indiana. It just snowed here 5 weeks ago.
I'm going to find Flair from 83 and see if he worked twice on Christmas this day.
When I was doing my 83 around the country type cards from earlier, I didn't see Jim Crockett. Look, they didn't come back till the 28th. But I could be wrong.
Yeah, they did Starcade for Christmas.
I thought the initial Starcade was Thanksgiving.
Yes, I'm saying but they did Thanksgiving. I mean, they had Starcade on Thanksgiving, so they probably didn't run Christmas.
Oh, that could be. I didn't think about that.
You got to scroll a ways on Ric Flair.
I would imagine so. He only wrestled a handful of matches, a cup of coffee. Debuted in 1971? He retired? Or I'm sorry, debuted. 1972, somewhere in there.
$12.25. He only worked David Von Erich. And then the 29th, he was Bruiser Brody in Kansas City. Then he was with Bob Armstrong in a no disqualification match on January 1st.
He wrestled Bola Bob Armstrong January 1st of 84.
Yeah, in Pensacola.
Whoa.
No disqualification.
Just for the sake of curiosity, Bob Armstrong had to have been 50. He was 45. Well, he was 44. He would have been 45 in October.
Is Tim gone?
It would appear that way, yes.
Tim Bell.
Everyone say goodbye to Tim. Bye, Tim.
Well, I'm gonna take a pee break real quick.
I can ramp a little bit by myself.
Be right back.
Let's just have some us time, huh? Me and you. Nice spring evening watching some Dallas wrestling. How have you been? I got some strawberries and whipped cream in the fridge for later, for us after the show. You know who I'm talking about. We're still watching Buddy Roberts and one of the Mantels, Ken, Rick, Marjorie. I don't know which one this is. Love that Brian. It never ceases to amaze me to watch Bronco Lubitsch just not get down for his recount. Again, it really pains me to think that. And I've been lucky. I've been to some great shows over the years, but to not be alive and experience the territory days, it kills me as a wrestling fan. I wish I could have. The first show I went to, I was 18, was WrestleMania 19. It was the day of my 18th birthday. That was the first show I ever went to. And then let's see, I've been to a Royal Rumble. I've been to 2 SummerSlams now. The only one of the big 4 I'm missing is the Survivor Series. I've been to an Extreme Rules twice. Actually, I was there for Cena and Rusev in a flag match in like 2014, whenever that was.
I was just in the restroom and it reminded me, you know what I hated about going to the restroom at the Sportatorium?
You had to go outside?
Piss trough. No.
Oh, you wouldn't like going to Wrigley then.
They had the piss trough on 3 walls.
Wrigley does that still.
Do they still do that?
Yes. The last time I went, they did.
I hated the piss trough.
Let's see. I was just at Wrigley 3 years ago.
How good? This is a good match between Buddy Roberts and Johnny Manziel.
Nothing weird happened between me and the watchers while you were gone. But I mean, we were just talking about that. Like, this is actually kind of a sleeper match here.
Yeah, Johnny Manziel always put on a good. He was solid, and Buddy Roberts was the worker of the 3 Freebirds.
Oh, absolutely. Which is saying something because it's the same team as Michael Hayes.
Yeah. Michael was the showman. Gordy was believable. Buddy was the chicken shit heel that got the heat and could work the matches. Buddy Roberts had successful programs with everybody. During 1983, he feuded with the Iceman.
King Parsons?
Yes, him and the Iceman had a thing with the hair all year. And then he's gonna work a program with David Manning. He's gonna get to where he picks on David Manning all the time.
I'm sure David Manning was thrilled about that.
Oh yeah, David Manning is a legit shoot wrestler.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, that's how he got. He was at that's how he met Fritz. Is that he was helping Kerry? He asked Kerry, "Can I tell you something?" And he showed Kerry something at a legit meet. And then Fritz got him out to the house and offered him a job. He wanted to coach the boys on wrestling. And then he started getting more responsibilities in the office. But because he just took a minute to, hey, I saw this. You might want to try this. Giving Kerry some pointers at a meet. Speaking of amateur sports, we saw a little girl set the state discus record yesterday. 133 feet.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I threw discus when I was in middle school.
Yeah, we clapped for her, even though
we clapped for her.
Well, we hate her school. They're all dirty. They're dirty, horrible people.
Oh.
Like, I mean, when you're cheering for a kid getting hurt and you're telling them to do something else, hit her again.
Oh, they're the Philadelphia of
They're horrible people. And
Mississippi, I guess. Mississippi.
But I clap for the kid. There was another little girl there that was wearing a knee brace, and she just walked up and she just stood at the line. No spin, no taking a couple steps and throwing. She just walked up to the line and threw it 100.
Oh.
She threw it up. She came in third. She threw 111 when she did spin. Like I said, she had a knee brace on, so.
I think I threw it when I was in middle school, and I understand the discus is heavier than in college or in high school than it is in middle school. But when I was in middle school, I think my personal best was like 103.
Maddie's my granddaughter's only in 9th grade. She's JV, but they had her in the state varsity. She made state varsity tournament, and she threw her best is 98.
Still pretty good.
She came in 5th out of 7th. That's not bad for. And one of the new coaches we got that's starting for next year, he's going to work with her on her spin because he doesn't want to be a track coach. He's a football coach, but he asked about how far she could throw it. When he found out she wasn't spinning, he said, "I'll work with her. I'll get her there."
And then he's going to be like, "Hey, why don't you try out this ball? See how far you can throw this ball down the field."
She throws She throws the shot too.
Do the old necessary roughness.
And that same kid I told you about that threw 133 with the discus, she's throwing 45, almost 50 on the shot.
That's batshit.
How far did she throw? 40. She could throw 40 on the shot.
That's still batshit.
Yeah.
Like I think the first I threw the shot was like 22, and I almost shit my pants throwing it that far.
Little girl's impressive. Oh, we got Jimmy Garvin coming to the ring. He has something he wants to say to Chris Adams.
The gloves kill me.
Oh, they must have held it up because of the outside interference.
Mm.
Oh, they'll decide it. I'm sure they'll decide it in Fort Worth at that Star Wars.
I love that he came to the ring not scheduled to wrestle in his gear and a jacket. Oh, now we don't get to see Black Corbin? That's bullshit. I was really looking forward to seeing another Black Corbin match. He spat upon him.
Twice. Better watch that little old woman there in the red with the red toboggan on. The red knit hat that she'd made at home, the crocheted hat.
Red toboggan.
I used to sit up against that wall that's behind him there, that little section he's fixing to go out.
Are you behind Brock Lubitsch right now in the Eagle shirt? American
No,
Eagle
that's
shirt?
not me.
It looks like you.
Now they're going to put the boots to him.
I can't stop watching that fan now. He's all about it.
I think Garvin started calling Chris a slimy limey.
Oh. How much does a discus weigh? That's a good question. I don't know. Let's ask.
How much does a discus weigh, baby? How many? 1 kilogram.
Huh.
See that there where the wall with the flag?
Yes.
I used to sit, that's section D. I would sit on row 5 so I could stand up on the bench and see over everybody's heads.
Hey, I wonder if Missing Link, I wonder if he worked earlier.
And they'd bring him in the side so he didn't have to come down that long aisle with the fans. Because he's supposed to be crazy. But I'd sit up against that wall, and if they started throwing the beers, I wouldn't get hit because there was nobody behind me.
1 kilogram for girls, 1.6 kilograms for boys.
Yeah.
There you go. I wonder if Missing Link worked earlier today. Since he has no face paint. Since he has no face paint.
I can tell you.
Oh. Headbutted Kerry while he's autographing, you son of a bitch. I mean, I can look at him and see he's sweating and most of his face paint's gone.
Okay, there was Thanksgiving.
He was getting a little too carried away backstage. What in the hell was that? Kevin comes out in his All Japan Pro Wrestling jacket. I'm honestly kind of surprised it was not a Letterman jacket of some description.
The link at Attack Kerry before the bell?
Yes. Yeah, the policeman strapping.
I think that the link is the first member of Devastation that was brought in that really got over on the Von Erichs. Like, got to put a beating on them to set up.
So let me ask you a question: Was World Class one of those places where they would tape more than one?
Yeah,
every at a time.
Every taping was 2 shows.
2 shows. So I'm guessing this was the second of those tapings for Link.
Yeah, I'm looking to get you the results. Yeah, Buddy Roberts and Johnny Mantell went to the time limit draw. Chris Adams beat Black Gordman in 20 seconds. Carrying the missing link is still going. And then on the next show, we're going to get...
Like today, it's still going?
I mean, it feels like it. I mean, the match is still going to go.
It feels like it, he said.
But on the next show, we're going to get Kamala beating a man named Rick Rude, R-O-O-D.
Oh.
And it is the same one. We're going to get Kevin Von Erich and Jimmy Gar. I'm here this night. I was there.
Why are you so upset? I mean, we assumed that. Why are you so upset?
No, I mean, legitimately, I'm there, and I know where I'm sitting. I'm sitting on the bad guys aisle, about halfway up. We're looking at the camera angle.
Mm-hmm.
Like right there. Like you'll see Mercer at the top up there. I'm going up that aisle behind Kerry. I'm about halfway up on the right. And the reason I remember this so well is because the main event's going to be the Andre the Giant and the Iceman King Parsons against the Super Destroyers. And I was there that night for it.
But here's something else that just tipped me off. So I'm sure people were like, why does TJ keep calling people out in the crowd? You remember the American Eagle guy we just talked about a minute ago?
Yeah.
He's no longer in the front row. So this is a different tape. Well, it's same taping, different audience now.
Yeah,
He's not there anymore. The different.
No, this is they're doing them in
regular.
order for the television.
Then where did he go? Did they kidnap him? See, he's not there. He's gone. No, it'd been really useful if you would have kept the programs from these days. Then we would know. But no.
Oh, I wish I had one from that night.
Did I tell you I bought a bunch of programs from Madison Square Garden from like 1973?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd really like Bill Apter to come talk to us about it, but he hasn't answered me yet. Jerk.
I had pitched an idea for Bill Apter on another channel, and if it doesn't happen, I'm gonna make it happen over here.
I mean, I think like buying old programs like might be my new hobby.
I love them, dude. I bought some at Waterloo. It's got Gary Hart autographed it.
Let's see how much longer we got. We got 6 minutes. We got enough time. I can read one off as an example.
There might be a pretty good chance next week that we'll see me on camera when Jimmy Garvin comes down the aisle. Because Kamala's going to come through the side door. Well, we might see when Super Destroyers come down the aisle.
So this one is trying to find the date. There we go. December 29th, 1975. Nassau Coliseum. Ernie Ladd challenges Bruno Sammartino, but 75. Well, actually, Bruno was champion again here in 75. Against Lanza and Albano against Surdon and Parisi. Superstar Billy Graham's on the cover. And the president's Willie Gilzenberg, which not makes me laugh.
Carrie's in a battle with the link. It's like the link just doesn't. You can't hold on to him because he never stops moving.
So here's what's great, Pom. You're gonna love this. You know what's great about these programs? I don't know who I bought these from.
Yes,
he wrote in them.
Oh, that's awesome when you get them and they've corrected the results.
So Ernie Ladd and Bruno, they stopped the match because of bleeding. Blackjack Lanza was replaced by Spiros what was Spiros' first name? I can't remember. I almost said Spiros Agnew. That was the vice president.
Spiros. I was going to say Agnew too.
That's not him. There was a tag team match between 4 world famous midget wrestlers. None of them are named, so he had to name all of them. Jamaica Kid, Little Louie, Billy the Kid, and Dirty Morgan. 20-minute draw between Bugsy McGraw and Dominic DiNucci.
Wow.
Whew. That had to have been a barn burner.
You know,
Vera Michael Cicluna beat Pete Sanchez, and fabulous Frank Monti beat Mark Tendler. This is fantastic.
I love the All Japan jacket that Kevin's got.
It's a sharp jacket.
I wonder if he still has it because he recently sold a lot of his stuff.
Yeah, like this might be my
Look,
new
there's
hobby.
Akbar tugged on Kerry's leg, and there goes Kevin after Akbar.
Oh, there's a baby. Oh, Spiros Arion. There you go. I found him. There's an incredible young Kevin Sullivan in here, like a bowl cut Kevin Sullivan, which I didn't know existed.
Wow. So we're going to have a double disqualification here. Not
Bobo
really sure why
Bazone,
Kerry.
Haystacks,
Really not
Calhoun.
sure why Kerry's getting disqualified.
I want to know who autographed that flag. Now I'm curious.
Looks like it's got multiple autographs on it.
Well, on the back cover, Vince Sr., Vern Gagne, and Bruno Sammartino.
Wow.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do something with those.
I like those, man. I've got a lot of old programs. We ought to do a show one night where we just like play poker, like we play poker, and we'll hold it. We'll present our programs, and we'll let the crowd decide which one was the coolest of those two.
Oh, like compare the cards.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that a great deal.
Well, sometimes the card's not the best part of the program. It's who wrote the program, the stories that you get in them.
Well, of course. But I mean, again, I just said Bugsy McGraw and Dominic DeNucci went to a 20-minute draw. Like I don't know if you can come back from that.
Yeah, we had Bugsy McGraw in 81, 82 here. He left early in 83.
I love that I've watched him wrestle in Dallas because there was a time where I was trying to watch World Class from front to back of all the footage they have. And he played this crazy guy in Dallas. Do you know do you remember where they billed him from?
Florida, wasn't it?
Lafayette, Indiana.
Oh. I don't know why I thought he was a Florida guy.
The home of the Purdue Boilermakers is where they built him.
But he was doing comedy. He was doing comedy wrestling in Dallas.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, he used to be the Brute.
Oh, he's in this program, and again, it's a black and white photo, so keep that in mind. But he looks like Bad News Brown. But it's because of the contrast of the picture. But just no gray hair in the beard, just dark beard, ripped. He's apparently very tan in the picture because even with bad contrast, it should not look like Bad News Brown, but it did.
Yeah. Well, this thing's over with. We've done 3 hours, and that was a lot of fun.
That was a lot of fun.
You watched a lot of wrestling just to get to see a little bit of David Von Erich. What did you think about David Von Erich and Ric Flair?
The match was good. I'm curious. I need to see more because you can't get the
YouTube's
depth
your
of
friend.
one's. Oh, for sure. But
YouTube's your friend on David Von Erich.
But wrestling is that one of the art forms, like you can't get the full gist of someone's abilities in one match. Like even with someone like Ric Flair, you still can't.
Oh yeah.
And a prime example is Bret Hart and Tom McGee. Like
your homework assignment is to go to YouTube and watch some of David's 82 heel work in Florida.
Ooh.
Especially David and Dory Funk against the Briscoe brothers. Was a really good television match. I don't know if you can get David and Dusty on YouTube.
Probably.
But because David spent a year in Florida as a rule breaker. But you can get David and Flair matches. And I think you probably get this whole match. I want to say that I've watched it from bell to bell. I know I did that night. I got super excited when I realized I was in the crowd for this show.
I grew up a WWF kid, started watching in '89. I didn't discover WCW until Nitro, so September '95. But going back and looking at stuff, Like, to me, those were the only two things wrestling was that existed, because I didn't know the territories. I knew nothing about them. And then to go back and look at all this stuff, it again, like, you watch the crowds, you're like, man, how I wish I could have been there. I wish I was old enough to go. But unfortunately, also where I live, unless you went to even Chicago in 83 or 84, unless, I mean, no one was running Chicago, like, no one owned it. AWA did, but they lost control of it because they couldn't draw there anymore. They might have been here still in 83, but by now Hogan's gone. Because Hogan, you know, this last episode was the one that's getting ready, would have started had we not stopped, would have been January 21st of 84. Hogan's going to win the title like 3 days later after the show aired. So AWA is not free falling yet, but they're not far. So they probably wouldn't have had enough control of Chicago. Dick the Crusher and Dick the Bruiser never really had Chicago. So Chicago was a weird town that never was kind of like a country, a man without a country. WWF was probably the most successful thing in Chicago. But I didn't really have that opportunity. I mean, when I was a kid, the best chance I would have had was either go to Memphis or go to Smoky Mountain. And living in northern Indiana, not a possibility. So, but I love going back and watching. That's why I love watching these territory shows so much, because it's fascinating to me.
Well, I've enjoyed it, and we thank our listeners for the 1,000. I mean, like I said, we're celebrating 1,000. We're sitting at 1,294 right now. April was our biggest month ever on the channel. We gained 372 subscribers. 53,211 views is our best month. Onward and upward for two shows, one cup. Again, thank y'all so much for joining us tonight. Watching, hopefully you watched along. If you did, you saw some really good wrestling tonight. And we'll have to get together and do this again soon. We're going to do. I think the next one we're going to do is going to be Blackjack Brawl.
I can't wait.
That one I'm not even making notes for. We're just going to shit on everything.
Please don't. I have watched that one before. It is a shit show. We've watched it together before. It's brutal. It's not as bad as Super Clash like 5, or the last one was in 90. We watched that. They had no announcers, and they shot it from like the roof. But I mean, this Blackjack Brawl, it's so bad. It's good.
Yeah,
they tried so hard.
It had names on it. It had some big names on it.
They tried so hard to make it good.
Yeah,
and the harder they tried, just the worse it looked. Like
these watch-alongs are funner when you can shit on what you're watching.
Oh yeah,
what we watched tonight
on the show.
It's hard to shit on what we watched tonight.
Cactus Jack and Superfly Stuck is on the show. It's arguably the worst match I've ever seen.
Well, my pain medicine's worn off, and I'm fixing to go redose.
I love it.
Thank y'all for joining us tonight on 2 shows, 1 cup.